SWB audio capture, not registered. SWB audio capture, not registered. SWB audio capture, not registered.
All right, folks, take number two. Take number two, folks. Take number two. Here we are. Had to restart my computer. I don't know what the heck was going on with my frame rates, but like it just wasn't working at all. OBS just wasn't working. But it does appear that turning off the computer and turning everything back on did fix it. Now, the unfortunate thing about that is that I had to redo everything that I did for the back end of starting the stream. So we're coming in hot, folks. Round number one of Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League Night is getting underway. We've got Hunter Horak on the left and Ben Peacock on the right. Should be a fun one. We've got lots of players in the house tonight to play some Gym Leader Challenge formats. 24, that is a 5-rounder, folks. 5-rounder. So we've got 5 glorious rounds of Gym Leader Challenge this evening. Should be a wonderful experience, I have to say. I'm very stoked. I am pleased to have you all with me. So thanks for joining me. We've got a fun one coming up. Looks like we've got Ben Peacock playing a metal deck. And we've got Hunter, I think, playing his Crazy Code colorless deck. So metal versus colorless. I know Hunter is one of the Crazy Code colorless deck's biggest defenders. The deck plays Porygon Z from Unbroken Bonds with the Crazy Code ability, which allows you to attach as many special energy from your hand to your Pokemon as you like during your turn. And, oh baby, are there plenty of powerful, colorless energies to use in Gym Leader Challenge formats. You've got Capture Energy, Double Turbo Energy, Draw Energy, Gift Energy, Jet Energy, just to name a few. Powerful, colorless energy, and you can attach them all from your hand to your Pokemon, Rain Dance style, thanks to Porygon Z's Crazy Code ability. So that's the kind of deck that Hunter's playing. Looks like Ben has got a solid start, though, with a Duraludon in the active, Beldum, Varoom, and Q-Font on the bench. I do expect that we're going to see Ben try to evolve that Q-Font up into Capparaja. Capparaja is a pretty nasty dude. 190 hit points, stage 1 Pokemon with the Muscular Nose attack, which does 220 damage for 3 metal energy. But if Capparaja has 8 or more damage counters on it, the attack does nothing. So you got to keep that Capparaja clean. and it can go swinging for the fences. We see Hunter's got a good start with a Fan Rotom on the bench, and Tate and Liza gift energy attached to the active Doduo. I do think that Doduo has like a pretty solid attack, does like 30 damage or something, so certainly not the worst card ever. And we'll maybe get some poke damage onto this Duraludon early on in the game. And I do see that Ben's got a pretty decent looking turn 2 hand with the Matang in hand already, so you can get a turn 2 Matang, and then also Ball Guy, and Ball Guy will be great for just getting more balls. I mean, really, when it comes to putting balls in your hand, Ball Guy is like the best at doing that. When we see he's got Kaparaja, Matang, and Ball Guy right there. Hunter going to use that Fan Call, go get 3 colorless Pokemon from the deck with 100 HP or less, put them into his hand. Looks like he's grabbing Slackoth, as well as Dodrio, and one more Pokemon I can't quite read from here, Bidoof. All right. And then little swing for 30, and the Doduo puts a damage counter on itself, which is relevant because Doduo evolves into Dodrio, and Dodrio has the Ballistic Beak attack, which does 30 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon plus 10. So, Zooming Draw can put a damage counter on the Dodrio every turn. Hunter may also play a Rainbow Energy. I usually like to see Rainbow Energy paired with these kinds of abilities or these kinds of attacks that do more damage for the amount of damage counters on them, as Rainbow Energy can allow you to kind of skip ahead a damage counter. And Doduo also giving Ben the opportunity to skip ahead. When we see Ben's using Ball Guy and has to use Ball Guy for 2 balls, and then the third ball, Ultra Balls discards the 2 other balls, and then it's going to be a Revavroom. Okay, so from the looks of things, I mean, Ben's hand is not... It's like set up, but it's only good if he's got a Metal Energy in his hand. I don't know if he top decked a Metal Energy for turn. If he did, then this is huge, as he basically just turned Ball Guy into Revavroom. Revavroom is going to allow him to set up and draw plenty of cards so long as he has energy in hand, thanks to the Rumbling Engine ability, allowing him to discard an energy from his hand and fill his hand to 6. And then he's also got Matang and Kaparaja. So this is like an incredible start if he's got a Metal Energy in that hand. And from the way that he's playing this, I do suspect that he did top deck a Metal Energy. Let's see. Oh, yes, he did. So he's got Matang and Kaparaja, and that is 3 stage 1s on turn 2 going first. Absolutely incredible draw there. Misses the Matang, unfortunately, goes for the Metal Maker. And then we've got Rumbling Engine, discard the Metal, draw 6. And keep in mind that this is just the second turn of the game going first, so a very strong start for Ben. If he can evolve that active Duraludon into an Arcaludon, then he can retreat for free with the Metal Bridge ability. However, I don't think that he has that, and did just kind of waste his only, not waste, but used his Ultra Ball to go get the Revavroom, right? So the Ultra Ball is no longer in deck to help him find those evolution cards. Decides to manually pay the retreat cost of Duraludon to retreat into Jirachi so he can use the Stellar Wish ability, which I think makes a lot of sense. Duraludon does have an attack that does 30 damage, but you don't want to use that attack into Doduo, since Doduo evolves into Dodrio and will do more damage for the amount of damage counters on it. So you don't want to serve that up to Hunter. And I think Stellar Wish is a good way to end this turn. We'll see if Ben decides to bench the Bronzor in his hand. It looks like he's thinking about skipping the Bronzor bench. Might be because Bronzong is prized, or maybe doesn't want to play into Parallel City too hard. Either of those could be realistic possibilities. And then we're going to see a pass with Jirachi waking up. We'll see how Hunter responds. Now, Hunter's colorless deck is unique for a couple of reasons. First of all, it plays that crazy code Porygon, but it also plays Slacking. There is this cool Slacking that Hunter absolutely loves from Celestial Storm. It's got the Lazy ability, which says, as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon in play have no abilities. And sure enough, here is the Colress's Tenacity for Parallel City. So Ben, I think, was smart not to bench that Bronzor, as Parallel City is getting slammed right down. And that is the beautiful holographic Japanese Parallel City from the Best of XY expansion. Just the holo patterns on those cards look really slick, so gotta love that. And double turbo energy also gonna get grabbed. Hunter also evolving into Bibarel so that he can use the Industrious Incisors ability. Gonna be very helpful for churning through the deck, as he'll be able to fill his hand to 5 cards every turn. Parallel down. Have to imagine that Ben's getting rid of the Duraludon here. Everything else seems like way better. This is crazy work. That's crazy. Yep. It's not the Caparaja that I thought. Okay, so Ben is playing a different Caparaja. Now that I'm taking a closer look, that is not the Muscular Nose Caparaja. Decides to keep the Duraludon instead of a fully evolved Caparaja, which does seem kind of strange. But we'll see how that ends up working out for Ben, as Hunter takes the first knockout of the game with Dodrio. Sacking a fully evolved Pokemon feels so bad, especially one that, you know, could be one of your main attackers, but maybe Ben has a different vision, so we'll see. Uses Raihan to accelerate a Metal Energy onto Duraludon, and then we'll go get to search his deck for whatever card he wants. Evolution Incense could get the Arcaludon, which would give him free retreats. Looks like maybe he's also thinking about getting the Iron Crown online. Does have Quick Ball, right? So could Quick Ball for Iron Crown. Could be kind of nice. Iron Crown could take a knockout. It looks like he's going to get the Stadium. Mount Cornets, which will give him an extra energy from hand. So playing the Mount Cornet is interesting, right? Because it bumps the Parallel right away. And then basically saying with U-turn board, he can retreat this Duraludon instead of having to go get the Arcaludon, and then can Quick Ball and go get the... Yeah, and I actually like this line. I like this line a lot, because the Quick Ball will go get the Iron Crown, and then with Mount Cornet, he can recover Metal Energy to his hand and then go use Rumbling Engine again. So I like this. I think it's good, and it was a difficult discard getting rid of the Caparaja. I think if Ben ends up losing this game, you know, you might be able to trace it back to that Caparaja discard, but we'll see here. Super Rod. You don't want to put like the energy back in, funny enough. You just want to recover the Pokemon. And I think Ben is like kind of realizing that he actually doesn't care to play that Super Rod at all, because you want to recover the energy with Mount Cornet and then use Rumbling Engine. And here we go. Mount Cornets. We'll get those back. Metal Maker first. He wants to find one metal energy off Metal Maker. Does find one. And that is going to allow him to fire off an attack with this Iron Crown with the attachment from hand. And deleting Slash is going to take this knockout. So would have... All right, yeah, so saving the Super Rod, that makes sense. Ben was saving the Super Rod until after the Metal Maker was done, because you don't want to throw 3 Pokemon into your deck before using Metal Maker, because you're diluting your deck with more non-energy cards. So that is it's a really heads-up sequencing from Ben there. And then we are going to see a Rumbling Engine and an attachment. So very smoothly sequenced there by Ben Peacock. Love this route. And really the parallel knockout, Parallel City knockout from Hunter was like a huge turn 2 play. But now Ben Peacock is responding with Iron Crown, and it's not too worse for the wear, honestly. His Caparaja and Jirachi are gone, but that doesn't really matter. He's got a full hand. He's got 130 hit point Pokemon swinging for 120 damage, enough to take the knockout. And everything is looking smooth. Evo Soda off the prize cards means that Ben may be able to go and grab that Archaludon, evolve Duraludon up into Archaludon, and start using that Metal Bridge ability to give his Pokemon free retreats. Hunter kind of has to pull a rabbit out of a hat here. His board doesn't look phenomenal. I mean, he's got the Bibarel, which is great, and a Slackoth. At this point, I am noticing Hunter has discarded multiple special energy. The counter energy down, using Cynthia and Caitlyn to get back Tate and Liza doesn't feel good. Just drawing 3 cards. I mean, Hunter needs, a big turn. And I just don't know that he's got the cards to deliver on a big turn right now. Escape Rope will allow his Fan Rotom to poke for 70, but I suspect that Ben is going to be smart enough to not send up like a, Bronzor. And yeah, Ben sends up the Revavroom, which is definitely the least consequential Pokemon. As if it goes down, it's not like the end of the world, it's fine. And then Hunter will play Capture Energy to go get Cramorant, which I think is a smart call, considering Ben is assuredly taking another prize card this next turn, and then Hop's Cramorant will be able to use Fickle Spitting to dole out 120 damage. But yeah, Hunter definitely needs to get this Slacking going. There's no Porygon Z in sight yet, so no Porygon, which also feels really... Oh, there is a Porygon Z in sight. It's actually getting ready to hit the discard pile as we see Hunter trying to weigh what to discard with this Ultra Ball. It does feel like this deck that Hunter has trying to fit everything. It really wants to have it all, right? It wants to have the Hops package. It wants to have Crazy Code. It wants to have Slacking. It feels like, it wants to have a card like Hex Maniac. Like, obviously, Hex Maniac is one of the strongest cards in Gym Leader Challenge format, but Hex Maniac is a card that really... It's best when you're like already kind of set up, or you kind of, it's like a win more card almost, like you're set up and you're attacking and then you can play Hex. At a moment like this where Hunter is just kind of reeling, trying to get back in the game, Hex is not going to be as big. He's got an Incisors for 1, does have the Vigoroth, which he evolves into play. And honestly, Slacking might be Hunter's ticket to winning this game. Slacking is probably the strongest card in Hunter's deck. But it does feel bad to kind of... It feels bad to have so much of your deck's game plan pigeonholed into this Pokemon that has 160 hit points and honestly 160 HP. Used to go really far in Gym Leader Challenge. I want to say like a couple years ago. But lately, 160 is kind of like the new 130 if you're asking me. It feels like a lot of the best attackers kind of need to be able to hit 160 damage now. It used to be that like the golden standard for a Gym Leader Challenge attacker was 130 damage, but more and more it's starting to feel like Gym Leader Challenge attackers are hitting 160 or more. That's just kind of the way the game goes as power creep happens year after year. So Slacking's 160 hit points, definitely a kind of a smudge on this otherwise very impressive card from the Sun and Moon era. Critical move, 160 damage for 3. That's solid. Lazy. That ability is crazy. So that's what Hunter is going for. Hunter wants to basically swing with Slacking and hope that Ben does not respond. Now Ben's got an Evo Soda and fails it, so maybe that Archaludon is prized. Ben does have Tate and Liza for an easy switch. And then can attach an energy, commit an energy somewhere. Right now, I mean, Ben's board is looking great, other than the fact that he just doesn't really have like a fantastic backup attacker. Still kind of loading energy onto this Duraludon on the bench, and without the Duraludon evolving into Archaludon, you know, maybe that was an oversight early in the game with Ben choosing the Duraludon. Maybe didn't check to see if the Archaludon was prized, and sure enough, off the prizes there is the Archaludon finally showing up as Ben takes yet another prize card. So now Ben's gambit to keep the Duraludon and the Archaludon, keep the Duraludon is paying off as he found the Archaludon off the second prize there. Now, Hunter has teammates, and this is what I was kind of talking about, right? Like, Hunter has teammates. Hunter can use teammates to go get Slacking, right? And then, like, his whole game plan is going to be, and thankfully, Hunter does have a pod helmet. I think he's aware of the fact that Slacking's 160 hit points is, like, the lone blemish on this card. So the pod helmet is going to make this Slacking a little bit more difficult to knock out, and effectively gives it 190 HP. And then with the double turbo energy, this Slacking is going to be swinging for 140 damage with critical move. Hunter will have to discard an energy, and it can't attack this next turn. And then critical move for 140. Ties this game back up. The lazy ability is active now, making it so that Ben cannot use any of his own abilities. Ben does have this Archaludon now, which he found off the prizes. And like I was saying, Iron Blaster does 160 damage. And with the escape rope, he's going to be able to push that Slacking right out of the way, which then breaks that ability lock caused by the lazy ability. And is going to allow Ben to use his abilities once again. So Hunter's investment into that slacking not paying off yet. And now Ben can actually stack his deck with Mallow and then draw into the exact cards that he needs. And I really like Ben's decision to go get the Crystal Cave. I think that this is like perfect because with Crystal Cave, he's going to make it so that this Archaladon doesn't get return KO'd, right? Because Archaladon's got 180 hit points. It's got 30 damage on it right now, so 150 damage would take the knockout on it. And if Ben stacks this Crystal Cave, he's going to be able to heal that 30 damage from the Archaladon so that then it's kind of out of harm's way. I think that that's really smart. Could also be good to go get a Field Blower so that Ben can remove the pod helmet from the slacking, as that no doubt will be annoying to get through also. I would say that Ben does need to think about establishing a backup attacker. So that would be one of the two grabs for me, would absolutely have to be a backup attacker. He's got to get Zamazenta going. So that would be my thought, is that one of these has probably got to be Zamazenta. And then you're looking to try and use Metal Maker to accelerate some energy onto Zamazenta. It looks like it's Field Blower. And Ben does find Q-Font and Dialga, so really that's fine. As far as backup attackers go, that's like, you're good. So you've got those guys established now. Can use Mount Cornet. Field Blower will get rid of the Floatstone and the Pod Helmet. Those are very good targets. Very good use of the Field Blower there. And then we'll let this Metal Maker fly, see if we get any metal energy. There are two, so a big hit off Metal Maker from Ben. Gets to look at the top 4 cards of his deck and attach any number of basic metal energy he finds there to his Pokemon. 2 is a great hit. And those energy are going straight to Q-Font, which was one of the cards he stacked off of the Mallow this turn. And then Iron Blaster for 160 will take Ben down to 3 prizes. This might just be a Verse Seeker for teammates, and then I'm thinking that Hunter is going to want to go get that powerful colorless energy. And this is the thing. So, like, Ben did not decide to heal this turn. So if Hunter, and it looks like Hunter does have Muscle Band in deck. So either Muscle Band or powerful colorless energy will allow him to take this knockout, since slacking does do 160, but then minus 20 for the double turbo energy. He's already got the powerful colorless in hand, actually, so doesn't even need to search out that piece. But the slacking cannot attack back-to-back turns. However, it did get switched because of the escape rope, so it is good to actually attack again. Hunter doesn't have to worry about that. And this could be a big turn. I mean, if Ben doesn't have a way to really work around the slacking here, I mean, this is basically what Hunter is trying to negotiate with this deck. He's trying to set up these turns where he takes a knockout while also shutting off abilities. We see the Porygon was prized, so fish that out with the Hisuian Heavy Ball. He's trying to set up these turns where he takes a knockout while also shutting off abilities. I mean, it's one of the strongest things you can do in Gym Leader Challenge format. One of the strongest things you could do in the Pokemon trading card game. However, there's not always a standard format where it's possible to take a knockout while also locking abilities. But it just so happens in Gym Leader Challenge, it's very much possible because of the card pool. But it's also a more balanced thing to do in Gym Leader Challenge format than it is in standard format, because in standard format, your games might only last 4 or 5 turns, so turning off abilities for like a fifth or a quarter of the game is like kind of insane. But in Gym Leader Challenge format, your games are more likely to last 10 turns, sometimes more, sometimes less, and shutting off abilities for a turn or two in a 10-turn game is not as bad. And there we go. Critical move, taking the knockouts. With slacking. Did you all see the new Mega Halucha that was revealed? Oh my god, I do see some chat happening about that right now. Some chatting about the new Mega Halucha over on Twitch. Yeah, Mega Halucha. My goodness, what a beautiful creature. I am loving Mega Halucha. What a beast. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's like they made a Mega that was just like cool and not just like totally silly. Yeah, Halucha's goated for sure. So, loving Mega Halucha. Stoked that Halucha is getting some love. I think Halucha is probably my favorite Pokemon from the XY block. And one of like my top 10 favorite Pokemon, probably. Yeah, Halucha is just that dude. Halucha hasn't gotten like... Yeah, Halucha's gotten some love. I mean, the Halucha from Furious Fist was like really good. And then like Halucha got nothing for like the longest. Halucha EX was terrible. There's just like a bunch of really terrible Halucha cards printed. And then the Halucha that has the flying entry ability in standard right now, it's like pretty good. It's a pretty good Halucha. Like that's... As far as like what Haluchas do, that's exactly what I would want a Halucha to do. So I do like the flying entry Halucha. However, it has made me very upset that Pokemon has not been giving Halucha free retreat. Because in my mind, Halucha should always have free retreat. Because the very first Halucha ever had, free retreat. Or at least the first good Halucha had free retreat. The one from Furious Fists. Mega Halucha is extremely cool. I'm a huge fan. It looks like Ben just has to pass with his Caporaja in the active. Now, Ben is playing a Caporaja that I am not a fan of. And we see, right here that 4 attack cost is just really kind of rearing its ugly head here as Ben has trouble reaching for that 4th energy under ability lock and has to just pass with the Caporaja in the active spot. Which is going to give Hunter an opportunity to claw back into this game. So the Caporaja's got 200 HP. Or is this the Vengeful Stomp one? Let's see, which one is this? This one, Vengeful Stomp? No, this one is the newer one, Massive Body. As long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, your opponent can't play any Stadium cards. Nasal Lariat. Alright, I mean, it does 230 damage. It's just very expensive attack, right? It's a good... It's like a fine card, but 4 energy is so much to ask from this metal deck, right? Like the metal deck, I feel like really... Reaching to 3 energy is already not the easiest thing to do. Getting the 4th energy is certainly tough. But I gotta give it to you. If you get this Caporaja going, it is kind of unstoppable. All right, you got Mallow and Lana, which you can play to like switch and heal. So, yeah, the thing that bothers me the most about the 4 attack cost is just that. It's the 4 attack cost, right? The card is good. Locking stadiums can be good. Wait. You can't play the stadium. Hunter did that in the wrong sequence. He needed to play the stadium before he used Jet Energy. He misplayed there, so small little misplay from Hunter. Hunter used Jet Energy to bring Cramorant into the active spots and then tried to counter the stadium, but that is actually what this Caparaja does. It's got the massive body ability, which makes it so that you can't play any stadiums. The opponent can't play any stadiums. So yeah, let's take a look at this guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on this Caparaja, but four energy to attack in the metal deck, it's a lot. It is a lot. So obviously, there's pros and cons to this Caparaja. Ben Peacock did miss the attack last turn as he wasn't able to power it up all the way to 4 energy. But then it is also going to weather this attack from the Cramorant and kind of just shake it off, right? Because if this was the Muscular Nose Caparaja, then, which is this one, then this Caparaja wouldn't be able to attack, right? So, unlike the Muscular Nose Caparaja, this Caparaja is going to be coming in hot for 230 damage. Yeah, which is kind of crazy. And if Ben can find a way to, like, I was going to say, like, a boss's orders here would be kind of crazy. Fourth energy going on to Caparaja. Been kind of wild to me that Ben is not, like, leaning into Zamazenta. Like, why is Zamazenta not getting benched? So that's something that I'm kind of, especially, like, before this Matang, like, bench the Zamazenta. Zamazenta is, like, the best dang attacker in your deck. Like, yeah, put that guy into play. Zamazenta, this is like the Zamazenta show. I actually cannot believe that Zamazenta has not seen any airtime yet. And finally, Zamazenta makes its way onto the bench, and Ben's got a Marnie. His time is winding down in this match. Just 5 minutes left. Two off of the Metal Maker is crazy. Maybe I'm just not hip to how cool this Caparaja is. Maybe this Caparaja is the one. I don't know. 3 energy for 220 feels so good, though. But this one kind of needs to switch as well if it wants to do big attacks back-to-back turns. So they both have pros and cons, and they're both certainly worth thinking about. All right, so Ben Peacock going to just 2 prizes remaining now with Hunter on the back foot. Got to figure out how to clean this game up. That 2 energy hit off of the Metal Maker was super good, getting those energy onto the Zamazenta, as that Zamazenta is undoubtedly going to cause some problems for Hunter, because if Hunter takes this knockout with, like, slacking, right, then Ben responds easily with Zamazenta. It's just not, at this point, you can kind of see Ben's route to win. I guess the 230 number is a very relevant number to hit, especially if you're up against, like, Wailord, right? The special waves Wailord. So, yeah, maybe I gotta get hip to the new elephant. I could see it. I've always been a Muscular Nose truther. But maybe it's time I reassess. Three energy is just such a easy requirement to get to. The difference between 3 and 4 is like crazy. All right, Tate and Liza. Only 3 minutes left. No way. These guys better not tie, dude. Ain't no way. All right, Muscle Band onto Snorlax. Industrious Incisors. Draw 2. And then this Slacking is going to take a knockout, but the ability lock is kind of meaningless, as Ben can very easily just send up the Zamazenta and take a return KO. Zamazenta, kind of the premier attacker in this metal deck. It's got the Retaliate attack, which does 100 damage plus 120 more. If you're Ben here, I mean, you're going to go to +3 turns. I think +1 turn doesn't start until September, which is next week. So I think that here at Full Grip, this is going to be the last week of us doing +3 turns, as I think the official guidance has been that +1 starts in September. Ben getting this Mount Cornet to stick forever has been absolutely insane for him. He has been able to recur so many energy off of this Mount Cornet throughout the game. And then will counter it himself. And I have to think that at this point that Hunter is kind of... I feel like Hunter's out of it now. For sure. With Ben having the Zamazenta here. He's also got Metal Goggles. As soon as he knocks out this Slacking, the Metal Shield ability... Metal Shield ability will come back on, and then we'll also have the Metal Goggles, so the Zamazenta will be taking -60 damage. Saw that Hunter discarded his counter energy, I think on the first turn of the game, so won't even be able to counter energy the Hop Snorlax or whatever. Ben's got another double rip off of Metal Maker, just absolutely nuts. Those energy gonna go live on Dialga. Dialga's Metal Blast now cranking out 120 damage, and you know, with another energy or two, we'll be able to knock out anything on Hunter's board. So oh yeah, cannot Metal Maker. Yeah, okay, yeah, good thought. Cannot Metal Maker because of Slacking. That's actually a really good... All right, and Natalie is there handling it. So, good catch. Good catch, Natalie. Good catch, good catch. And it looks like Natalie is going to solve that by taking... You take the 2 metal off, you combine them with the 2 cards sent to the bottom of the deck. Yeah, and those are all just going to get shuffled and put on the top. I think that's a good solution. Yeah, no abilities can be used because of Slacking's lazy ability. And then Zamazenta will retaliate for the knockout. Ben Peacock was turn 0 there. His time did expire. And Hunter is going to be turn 1. I do think that Hunter is still out of this, as I don't expect him to be able to return KO on this Zamazenta. In order to knock out Zamazenta, Hunter's going to need to do effectively 190 damage, as the Zamazenta has got the Metal Shield ability, which makes it take 30 less damage, and then it's got Metal Goggles on it, which makes it take 30 less damage again. So, as Zamazenta is just completely juiced. Close game, 2-1. Yo, what the heck supporter is that, chat? What is that? Is that Hilda? That's a Hilda, huh? Doesn't Hilda only get stage 1s? Or does it gets any evolution Pokemon, huh? I guess I just think about Hilda getting like Dracloaks, but I guess it gets any evolution Pokemon, huh? Evo plus energy. Yo, that's crazy. All right, let's go, Hilda. Rare Candy, Porygon Z off the Hilda. Okay. We got Recycle Energy. Industrious Incisors. And no energy. Yeah, does not find a single energy off of that. Will not be able to attack. Artisan, Town Map. Yup. I don't think that there's anything that Hunter can do at this point. At this point, probably he's just trying to draw it out to a tie and prevent Ben from taking the knockout on this turn. So the thing about Zamazenta only does base 100 damage. So this Porygon Z is effectively walling it off right now. And Ben is going to need to make a little magic happen. This is crazy work, though, because now Ben knows that there's 2 Metal Energy in the top 4. Which are both going to go onto the Dialga, right? So it's like Ben kind of already knew that those 2 Metal Energy were there because of the misplay last turn. But anyways, I think Ben Peacock did deserve that win regardless, even though the game state was slightly questionable because of a missed trigger there on the Slacking's lazy ability. But, you know, it is both players' responsibility to uphold the game state. That is both players' responsibilities. Not just Ben's. It is also Hunter's, as Hunter is the one, inflicting the ability lock. So, GG's to both players. Cool to see that crazy code deck in action. Also very cool to see Ben Peacock's take on Metal with the New Age Caparaja. Close one there. Glad that it did not end in a tie and that Ben Peacock was able to walk away with the dub. Great turnout tonight. 24 players here in attendance for our Gym Leader Challenge League night. As we get ready for our next round, let's bring up morsemakes.com. All right, yo, shout out to Ben Morse, who keeps all the stats. He's our bookkeeper for the Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League. And we can see his work right here on morsemakes.com.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
We've had 5 weeks so far of the new season. 5 different badge winners. Alex Carpenter with Lightning, Craig Davenport with Metal, Dylan Ryan with that colorless control deck last week, and Sean and Lee both with Dragon. The winning lists from each week are linked on Morse's website. So if you're interested in the Gym Leader Challenge winning lists from each week here at fullgripgames.com, or not here at Full Grip Games, Ben has got those on morsemakes.com. You just got to, click on the badge and you can see each of the lists. Oh, yeah, the audio thing not captured glitch is back. That's so sick. Thank you, Brandon, for catching that. It's because God forbid I restart my computer, right? It's like anytime I restart my computer, it turns the app off, and then, yeah, it's brilliant, honestly. So, yes. So, huge shout out to Ben. Dylan's doesn't have a link, but Ben sent it to me. I know Dylan's, we got to get Dylan's list up. But Ben said he would be on that later, so you can check back on morsemakes.com later. I told Ben that I was going to be showing off his website every week at League from now on, so no pressure, but, it's a huge resource for our League to have all of this, right? You've also got, Season 3 records? Player records? Oh, yeah, dude. With top fours, you could see, like, yo, that's crazy. Austin Charles got a losing record. Hate to see it. Alex Carpenter, 16-8. Dang, he's looking kind of nuts. Dylan Ryan, 12-6. Hunter, 14-9. That's pretty good. John Patterson, 16-8. Sheesh. Sean, 12-5. That's nuts. All right. We've got round number 2 going up right now, folks. Let's head on over to the table and see what we got. Skirt. We got Michael versus Thea. Both players 1-0. Thea's been playing fighting lately, which I'm very excited to see. With the new Soul Rock and Lunatone coming out in Mega Evolution, fighting is shaping up to be one of my favorite types to play in Gym Leader Challenge. Something I never thought I'd say, but fighting is just incredibly strong with the new Soul Rock and Lunatone. And, that success that fighting... Thea's been doing quite well with fighting. And a lot of that has to do with Ogie Dogie. I mean, Ogie Dogie is kind of like the rock star of the fighting deck right now. It feels like every type in Gym Leader Challenge feels like it's getting one of these like big bruiser attackers, just like a big basic. And Ogie Dogie is kind of like the premier bruiser in the fighting deck with the Drena Power ability, which makes it have 100 more HP and do 100 more damage. Just absolutely nuts. And it looks like for round number 2, just getting underway now, we've got Thea with fighting versus Michael with grass. Both these players are 1-0 so far. We've got 24 players in the house tonight. Looks like Ben Morse is playing Psychic this evening, as well as Anthony Saya. Dylan, after his win last week, is on Water this week. Alex Carpenter is playing Dragon. This is going to be, I think, Austin Charles, one of his last times joining us for Gym Leader Challenge League as he's moving out to Dayton. So we'll be saying goodbye to Austin Charles as a league regular here at Full Grip Games. Alec Reiner is still working on that Darkness deck. Looks like Jack Martin also rolling up with Darkness tonight. That's cool to see. Chase Juicy on Psychic. Very cool. JD playing his favorite Grass deck. John Patterson playing Psychic. Craig playing Psychic. A lot of Psychic here tonight, folks. A lot of Psychic. And I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what the Shelmet is evolving into. Why was there a coin flipped? Oh, is it just a... Oh, no! Just a Riolu pass? Say it isn't so. One heads off of the timer ball. We've got Groddle. All right, what kind of shenanigans can we get up to? Yeah, you hate to be stuck with an unplayable hand here on the stream feature match. Not where you want to be, folks. We've got a Tate and Liza. Shuffle draw 5 for Michael. As Thea is left stranded with just a Riolu. And nothing else going on there. Looks like Michael finds a U-turn board and a Lanazade. I mean, really not a lot. Can use Groddle's Sundrenched Shell ability to go search out an evolution Pokemon, though. And continue setting up. Could use U-turn board to retreat this Shelmet. Didn't Shelmet get like a million retreat? Yeah, this Shelmet's got a retreat cost of literally 3. It's so fat. That does not retreat it, right? That's got a retreat cost of 3. Yeah, Michael's saying, all right, maybe I don't want to... maybe I don't want to put the U-turn board on my fat Shelmet. It looks like Thea is finally able to get a level ball going. So we'll be able to go get a Pokemon out of the deck with 90 hit points or less. Not a ton of Pokemon to choose from in the fighting deck with 90 HP or less. But the Nacli will do. And Nacli does evolve into Garganacl. And the Garganacl stands to gain so much when the new Solrock and Lunatone come out. The Lunatone has the Lunar Cycle ability, which allows you to discard a fighting energy from your hand and draw 3 so long as Soul Rock is in play. And Garganacl's got the Energizing Rock Salt ability, which allows you to attach a basic fighting energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So with the Lunatone and the Garganacl in play, you can kind of have this cycle where you're discarding energy, accelerating them into play. You can heal Pokemon with the Energizing Rock Salt. Something else I really like about the entire Garganacl line is that they all have a retreat cost of 3 or more, so you can search out every card in the Garganacl line with Heavy Ball. And yeah, Heavy Ball just kind of becomes like a great consistency option for this fighting deck. There's like a bunch of fighting Pokemon that got a retreat cost of 3 or more. You've got the Knackley, the Knackle Stack, and the Garganacl, all with a retreat cost of 3 or more. You've got the Ting Lu, which I've been playing. It's got a retreat cost of, I think, like 4 or something crazy. It might be 3. You've got the new Terrakion from Black Bolt and White Flare. It's got a big retreat cost as well. So Heavy Ball being able to target all those Pokemon just feels really good. Looks like Michael's going to go get Wurmple. Also has a Petilil in play. So what are we doing here? All right, we've got Petilil evolves into Verse Seeker for Tate and Liza. Okay, going to switch into the Badoo. And then looks like we're item locking. Okay. Lilligant. That's right. Lilligant. I think Lilligant has an ability that makes it so your attacks do 20 more damage, right? Sunny Day? Yeah. So Lilligant's got the Sunny Day ability. So maybe it's like a Sunny Day deck where Michael's going to be boosting his damage output with the help of Lilligant. Althea does have a Knackle Stack there on the bench, which is not horrible, but Garganacl's not going to be a premier attacker in this matchup because Garganacl is weak to grass. I mean, really, in this matchup, Thea just wants to be relying on Okidogi. Okidogi's, with the Darkness Energy, has got 230 HP, weak to Psychic, doing 170 damage. I mean, that's exactly where you want to be. Now, Michael is searching out the Beautifly, has Rare Candy in hand, so Rare Candy into Beautifly. Beautifly's got the Stoked Straw ability, which allows Michael to fill his hand to 6. Does find a Grass Energy there, which is quite good. Can attach Grass Energy to Grotle, and then maybe next turn search out Torterra and start swinging for the fences, as Torterra gonna be, I think, the best attacker for Michael to be going in with. Fighting Fury Belt onto the Riolu does not feel good, but does allow Riolu to take a knockout on the Badoo with its attack. Does 10 damage plus 10 more with the effect of Fighting Fury Belt, and that is a KO. Can play the Fighting Fury Belt under item lock because tools are not items. They used to be items. Fighting Fury Belt says item on it, but all tool cards have been errataed to no longer be item cards. So that is fair game. Michael finds Ball Guy off of the Pokegear. And looks like going to go in and play that. There's Netball, which can get a Grass Energy. You've already got Grotle with the Sun-Drenched Shell ability online, which can go get a Grass Pokemon. And I would expect to see Torterra hit the field if Torterra is in the deck. Looks like there's a little bit of everything going on in this grass deck. Some cool stuff. We've got the Jump Bluff that can hit twice. We've got the Lilligant, which has the Sunny Day ability, which boosts your damage output by 20. You've got this Acelgor. I think it's the Fusion Strike Acelgor, which does, I think, 120 damage for 1 if it's switched from the bench to the active. The Ninja Tornado attack. Yes, that is exactly what it is. You can do 120 for 1. So we might even see a Ninja Tornado here. Could be. It is a Ninja Tornado for sure. Let's see what they can do. Teammates in hand. Raihan as well. So there are options. There are definitely options. But the Knackle stack being forced into the active spot is not where you want it. Like I said, Garganackle's just got a huge retreat cost. Like literally a retreat cost of 4. So not what you want to have in the active. Also, this is like kind of the backbone of the deck, so you don't want to have this. You don't want to have this grass weak Pokemon just out here. Thea needs to figure out a way to get this Ogie Dogie rolling. 100%. So it's got to be like Floatstone, Karina, and then like retreat into Riolu again, or like retreat into Zapdos. It's got to be like Floatstone and Karina, or like something like that, right? And then next turn you use Karina. I think Thea still has a blend energy in hand. And then with Karina, you could go get Ogie Dogie and Garganackle the following turn. So let's see what Thea decides to get. I think one of these cards certainly has to be a Floatstone. You have to move the Knackle stack, right? Attacking with the Garganackle is so risky. I think this is like certainly a way to lose the game, but we'll see how this goes. I mean, Garganackle is a unit, right? I mean, 160 hit points, but none of it matters. It's weak to grass. So the Garganackle, I think that this line of play is maybe a little too short-sighted as Thea goes in to take this knockout with Land Crush. But if Thea loses this Garganackle, it's just going to be just a disaster for the rest of the game. So I think what I would have liked to see is Thea maybe go get a switch out and a supporter for next turn so that then Ogie Dogie could potentially sweep, because I do think that if Thea can keep this Garganackle on the bench out of harm's way while also powering up Ogie Dogie again, weak to Psychic, not Grass, then yeah, I would say that Thea has a much better chance in this game if that Garganackle does not get knocked out. I mean, but the Garganackle being out here in harm's way is really tough. We see Floral Path to the Sky. I think that's what it is, right? The Jump Bluff. I don't know. There's like some sort of Skiploom that allows you to evolve straight. It's the Solar Evolution Skiploom. Allows you to evolve straight into Jump Bluff when you attach an energy. And Jump Bluff can attack twice. So here we are. Now, it's still possible that Thea could get this Ogie Dogie powered up this next turn, even though, yes, because Thea has Raihan in hand, right? So, like, still possible. Get the Ogie Dogie going. And here is the Ogie Dogie. I think Thea just drew into the Ogie Dogie off the top of the deck or off the prizes. So, like, that was big. But now, Thea is poised to be able to start mounting a comeback with the Ogie Dogie. This Ogie Dogie is in a fantastic spot now. It's going to be coming in with 230 HP thanks to that unit energy. And Good Punch will dole out 170 damage as the unit energy is providing both darkness and fighting energy, allowing Good Punch to be used and Adrena Power to be activated. Let's see what Michael has here to respond to the 230 HP Ogie Dogie. The parallel play there was key from Thea as the... all right, 4 prizes left on Michael's board. I got to keep in mind that Michael has 4 prizes because Michael's kind of setting his prizes up like way out in left field here. So, no, please put them closer. Oh, I don't feel like radioing down. I'm going to need to put like little guides on the table. I really don't want to like put anything on the table. Hey, Michael, can you scoot your prizes in a little bit? Can Michael scoot prizes in? Thank you. A little bit further. A little bit further. Thank you. Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, the parallel play from Thea was really key because it reduces the amount of total damage that the Torterra can do, and Torterra is going to be kind of like the most threatening attacker that Thea has to deal with, right? Torterra's got the Evo Press attack, which does 50 damage times the amount of evolution Pokemon you have in play. And right now, it's looking like Michael can only have 3 evolution Pokemon in play. So that means Torterra is going to be limited to just 150 damage. It's not going to be enough to deal with this Ogie Dogie. So, happy to see Thea getting the Ogie Dogie going. This is the key component to victory, I think. Stoke Straw, gonna draw to 6. Michael's able to find a Turf Field Stadium, which can go get Grass Evolution Pokemon. Grass Energy going to Kartana. Kartana, I think, has got like the Big Cut attack. Big Cut. God, I'm good. If you have exactly 4 prize cards remaining, the attack does 120 more damage. So 130 for 1 if you have exactly 4 prizes, and that is the case. So Big Cut. Going to be doing 130 damage with the Kartana. But again, Okidogi's Adrenopower ability is just making it so that the Okidogi's going to shrug that off no problem. And then big cuts, 130 damage. And now Thea appears to be in complete control of this game thanks to this Okidogi. Still needs to establish a backup attacker, as like the Okidogi will get knocked out. I think Thea's been sitting on a Mallow and Lana pretty much in this entire game though. So Mallow and Lana I think is going to be absolutely huge here. And yeah, we do see Thea thumbing that Mallow and Lana to the front. Let's see. Has to discard 2 other cards from hand. And there we go. Mallow and Lana will heal 120 damage while also switching to the bench. Zapdos has free retreats, Field Blower the Stadium, and now Thea's got just 1 card in hand. While Okidogi takes another knockout. Thea down to just 2 prizes remaining. Now, can Michael take this KO? We've got Skiploom back online with the Solar Evolution ability, allowing it to instantly evolve into Jumpluff when you attach an energy from your hand. So the Jumpluff back online. Jumpluff has got the Fluffy Barrage ability, which allows it to attack twice. So that's only 120 damage right now. That's actually not going to be enough to take the KO. I wonder if Michael's Torterra is prized. With the Muscle Band, that's like 80 times 160. Still not enough, right? Stoked Straw. Not enough, but still very intimidating to be Iono'd to 2 cards. Well, I guess they only had 1 card in hand before, maybe 2 with the prize take. So 2 card hands. Gonna go get a no way. All right, who's he evolve into? Carablast? I'm out here Googling. All right, Carablast. If you have Shelmet in play, this Pokemon can evolve the first turn you play it. Okay. That's fine. Is that the one we're looking at? No, it's not. We're looking at Clay one. All right. Who's Carablast even evolve into, dude? Escavalier. All right, Escavalier. Is there a grass Escavalier? No. There's literally not. All right, so then what's the Carablast doing? All right, let's see. Carablast. I don't know what the Carablast doing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Oh, it's for Shelmet. It allows Shelmet to evolve instantly, huh? If you have Carablast and play this Pokemon, it can evolve to the first turn you play it. Got it. That's cool. They like kind of combo together. That's neat. All right, Okidogi taking another knockout. Energy onto Riolu. Sudowoodo on the bench. Thea now with just 1 prize remaining, but the board state is just barely hanging in there. I feel like if Michael could swing with Torterra, then Thea might be unable to respond to a fully loaded Torterra. That would be my thought. So let's see. Rosa, I have to imagine that Michael's Torterra is prized. As the only grass Pokemon in deck looks like Low Kicks. So the Aselgor will be able to take this knockout with the free retreat from the Beautifly with the U-turn board. I think Guzma is a good grab there off the Rosa to allow yourself to go back-to-back knockouts with the Aselgor. And yeah, Salgor's Ninja Tornado. Gonna take this KO. Bring Michael down to 3 prizes. But can Thea respond? Zapdos gets the promote. Lots of cards in hand. I think Thea's not even drawing for turn. Just is gonna go get... Well, you do have to draw for turn, but listen, I ain't gonna sweat it. All right, Verseeker, teammates, Lucario, avenging Knuckle. I think that's what it is. And Lucario will take the knockout for game, and Thea gets another stream win with the fighting deck. And this deck is just going to get a whole lot stronger as soon as Lunatone and Solrock from Mega Evolution debut. We have a huge cash tournament coming up the weekend of September 27th and September 28th. So mark your calendars for that. Signups are available now at fullgripgames.com for our Mega Evolution 6K. That is $6,000 worth of cash. $6,000 cash being given out to our top finishers throughout the weekend. We've got a $3,000 standard Mega Evolution legal event happening on Saturday, September 27th, and a $3,000 cash Gym Leader Challenge event happening on Sunday, the 28th, also with Mega Evolution legal. Got Austin Charles versus Ben Peacock there. Metal versus Lightning. 24 players in the house tonight. Great turnout for our Gym Leader Challenge League nights. Yeah, let's take a moment to shout out the shop, Full Grip Games. Of course, huge thanks to Full Grip Games for hosting these events. We've got a lot of exciting news with the Mega Evolution 6K coming up at the end of September. I'm going to be streaming the entire event here on Tricky Gym, both the Standard and the Gym Leader Challenge events. And I'm going to be joined by the other members of the Tag Team Podcast. Both Riley Hulbert and JW Kreewall. Should be an incredible time. I'm very much looking forward to it. So if you are in the region or looking to make a trip out to beautiful Akron, Ohio, definitely make sure to head over to fullgripgames.com and book your tickets today for the Mega Evolution 6K doubleheader. We've also got a retro side event happening Friday night, September 26th. 2007 NAIC format, Primal Clash through Guardians Rising. This should be a ton of fun. It's one of my favorite formats of all time. Right there. 100% store credit pricing. $10 entry fee. So really, you could do the Full Grip week, dude. You could come out on Wednesday. You could do Wednesday League Night at Full Grip Games, Thursday League Night at Full Grip Games, Friday Retro Side Event, Saturday Mega Evolution 3K, Sunday Mega Evolution 3K, GLC. Yeah, you could do the Full Grip Games week, which honestly would be extremely epic. So, a lot of fun stuff going on at Full Grip Games the end of September. Also, Full Grip Games just announced the Full Grip Games Invitational, the Grip-vitational. Who out there is getting their grip fight this year? That's right, a free 5K invitational to all qualifiers. Do you think you're one of the best standard players around? Full Grip's best players in the 2026 season will earn an invite to the first ever Full Grip Games Invitational. This invite-only tournament will have a $5,000 cash pool and will take place in August 2026. And there are 3 ways to qualify. You can finish in the top 8 of a release weekend cash tournament. So if you finish in top 8 of one of our release weekend cash tournaments, you get an invite. Top 2 of each Full Grip Games League Cup, which are hosted quarterly, will get an invite. And then the standard league champion, so whoever has the most league wins over the course of the 2026 season, will also get an invite. And this is a free 5K, so that like everybody who gets an invite is going to have an opportunity to play for a piece of the $5,000 prize pool next August. So everybody who finishes in the top 8 of each of our next handful of release weekend standard events, so the Mega Evolution one, the one after that, the one after that, and the one after that. So it'll probably be 4, right? Because there's like 4 main sets are released each year. So that's 32 invites right there. Top 2 of each League Cup, there's 4 of those in a year, so that's 8. That's 40 invites, 41 invites. You're basically playing in like a very high caliber, like 40-player invitational. Like, dude, if you get an invite to the Grip-vitational, you have a very real chance to walk away with like a large piece of cash, right? So that's what I'm saying, like a very large chance. Like all you have to do is get an invite, and then you're in a 40-player 5K invitational. Like, it's nuts, dude. That's nuts. No, this does not. This is for standard only. This is not Gym Leader Challenge. This is standard. Standard only. Gym Leader Challenge has their own separate thing. Like we do our own Gym Leader Challenge Invitational. Yeah. GLC, listen, the GLC players at Full Grip, they got it better than they've got it just about anywhere, I'm saying. There's lots to play for at Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League Nights. But this is something for the standard players to play for, okay? This is for the standard players. The Grip-vitational. So I'm saying, it'd be stupid not to play for your grip fight this year. It's a free 5K. You just got to top 8 one of the release weekend tournaments. Easy. Finals of a League Cup. Full Grip League Cup. Easy. So, yeah. So that's huge. That's huge. That's huge. I'm very excited about that. Very excited about the Mega Evolution 6K. Very excited about My documentary, which is releasing on Monday, I've been working on it for so long, chat. Look how disgusting my desktop is, okay? Look how absolutely heinous it is. It's because my life is consumed by this documentary that I'm working on right now. The Gino Lombardi Band National Champion documentary, releasing on Monday, September 1st. Gonna be a must-watch Pokemon TCG experience. So definitely make sure to tune in for that. Very excited. It is almost here. It's almost here, chatters. Almost here. All right, as we get ready for round number 3, I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our third of 5 rounds here at Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League Night. Hang tight, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. This stream is sponsored by Dragon Shield. Dragon Shield makes the highest quality sleeves and accessories for your favorite tabletop games, like the Pokemon TCG. Dragon Shield sleeves are super durable, making them perfect for tournament play and collecting. They also come in a huge variety of colors, so there's always a great choice to match your deck. You can even turn your favorite photograph or design into a custom box of Dragon Shield sleeves using the Sleeve Crafter on DragonShield.com. Head over to DragonShield.com and place an order for your favorite sleeves today. Use code TrickyJim at checkout for 5% off your order. Again, that's DragonShield.com for the highest quality sleeves and accessories for your favorite tabletop games. Huge thank you to Dragon Shield for being a continued sponsor of the channel. All right, we are back. Thank you for the patience. Round number 3 at Gym Leader Challenge League coming up soon. But I've got some more stuff to yap about. So Jesse and I had our first testing session with Mega Evolution. I have to say, there's a lot of good cards in Mega Evolution, okay? There's a lot of really good cards. I think that Mega Evolution is going to be an impactful set. It's got the Lily's Determination. That card's nuts. It's got the Lunatone and Soul Rock. Those cards are really good for fighting decks. It's got the Hariyama, which is like really cool as well. I'm not like convinced on the power of, not the power. I'm not convinced on the viability of the Mega Pokemon as it is right now. I think that like giving up 3 prizes is just like really, really, really bad. So that's something that I've been thinking about quite a bit. And if you take a look at the results from Japan, it's like, you know, Japan hasn't had any major tournaments in this format. They're basically just kind of like doing leagues and stuff. But you would think if cards are really, seeing a lot of success in Japan, then they'll see success at the local casual leagues as well. You know, it's not just, it's not like, you know, the broken mega decks are only going to show up for the big events. They'd show up for the small events too. And they don't really seem to be catching on at the small events. So it makes me a little bit curious as to whether or not the Mega Evolution cards are really going to perform in standard format. There are just so many cards in standard right now that can hit big one-hit KOs. It reminds me a little bit, I mean, when Tag Team Pokemon first came out in Sun and Moon, they weren't great, like, right off rip. Pikarom was good, but that was, like, kind of it. Like, Celebi and Venusaur was played because it was hard to knock out. And then, like, Pikarom obviously ended up being a big deal. Gengar and Mimikyu. Actually, Gengar and Mimikyu ended up aging well. It wasn't good at first, but then it ended up getting... It was broken in expanded format because of Horror House GX. But, like, that's all you were using it for. Was to just go in and Horror House GX. And I'm just kind of, like, thinking about these... Yeah, this card was never played. I'm just kind of thinking about these cards now as we kind of like head into a new 3-prize format, right? It's like got me thinking about what the original 3-prizers were like in the Pokemon TCG. Eevee Snorlax was like okay in decks that could accelerate the energy to it. Magikarp and Wailord's good in expanded format. So like, okay, I guess like these guys ended up being all right, you know? Like Magikarp and Wailord ended up seeing play in expanded format. But a card like Mega Venusaur can't really justify that in a world with Golden Go being like a huge deal. Yo, Mega Camera Up though, roasting heat. I'm gonna have to build me the Mega Camera Up deck. 160, 240. If they're burned, 260 with the effect of burn. Or I'm building the Camera Up deck. Why has the Camera Up deck got so many haters? Mega Gardevoir is obviously going to be very good, but that's because Mega Gardevoir just slots right into Gardevoir EX, which is already the best deck in the format. You just put like one Mega Gardevoir in your already broken Gardevoir EX deck, and it's like, yeah, that's good for sure. The more I've been thinking about Mega Lucario, I think that maybe Cynthia's Garchomp is just the better inheritor of the new fighting tools, right? So I think that the next time I play with Jesse, I think I'm going to have a Cynthia's Garchomp deck built instead of Mega Lucario. I think Mega Lucario is just not as good, potentially. Mega Absol seems bad. Yo, Mega Mawile. All right. Yeah, Jesse was telling me about, okay, what about like Kangaskhan with Bouffalance? What if you just make him like really beefy, right? Flip a coin until you get tails, 50 more damage for each heads. Yo, kind of broken. Put Bouffalance. All right, Bouffalance, Mega Kangaskhan. All right, but how are we powering this thing up? Bouffalance, I think, is a crazy card in Standard. I mean, that card seems nuts, so... Brandon says there's a Garchomp player at your local league who finishes top 4 every week. Holy cow. All right, folks. We're getting into round number 3. Let's go. Here at Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League Night. Wahoo. We've got Cam versus Tony. Anthony is 2-0 with Psychic. Cam's 2-0, I think, with Colorless. Yes. Should be a good one. I saw Tony working on his Cursed Kiss deck before League tonight. See, Cam's deck is swagged out with the Snorlax sleeves. Yo, Cam, you mind scooting your prizes in a little bit, Cam? Scoot prizes in a little bit. Man. All right, and here we go. Round number 3 is getting underway here at Full Grip Games. We have got Anthony on the right with his Cursed Kiss Psychic deck playing first against Cam on the left with their colorless deck. Cam going to be playing second. And we see Tony's got the Togepi there in the active, Iron Boulder on the bench, and I was saying this in another round, looks like, you know, almost starting to feel like a requirement that every type is really starting to get a huge beat stick attacker, right? And I love Tropical Beach. I've been saying, I think Tropical Beach is such an underplayed card in Gym Leader Challenge format. I think Tropical Beach, the power of that card, I don't think it can be overstated. I think it's so good. I feel like it smooths out so many turns, smooths out so many game states, especially if you're playing Guzma and Hala. A lot of decks are already playing Guzma and Hala. A lot of decks are playing Colress's Tenacity, right? I think, yeah, Tropical Beach is just an insane card to start out the game, especially in a deck like Cursed Kiss that's trying to set up multiple evolution Pokemon. You've got the Togekiss, you've got the Gallade, you've got the Dusknoir. I know owning a real Tropical Beach is tough. They're hundreds of dollars, but the World Championship ones are like $30. And honestly, if you're playing a trading card game and you're not comfortable spending $30 on a card, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, because like Pokemon players already got it better than every single other trading card game. as far as like the cost of your cards go. But like, yeah, a $30 card, I hate to break it to you guys, a $30 card is not a lot to buy, like a card. It's really not. Pokemon players have it better than every other trading card game there is. And we see Tony there is playing the World Championship version. It's actually, for some people, they're going to prefer the World Championship version because it's got the silver border, which looks more like the modern cards. Right? Yeah, I mean, people will buy like a $300 booster box. People will buy like a $70 Elite Trainer box, but then won't buy like a $30 card for their deck. Like, that to me is crazy. So, I don't know. To me, you know, to play Gym Leader Challenge format, I mean, it's a singleton format, so you only ever need one, right? So just spend the $30. Like Lee, honestly, Lee, with as much time that you put into Gym Leader Challenge format, Lee in the chat, it's crazy work that you don't have a beach. That's absolutely crazy work, bro. Yeah, you got to use opaque sleeves if you have cards with different backs like Japanese or World Championship, then you got to use opaque sleeves for sure. So anyways, like I said, Tropical Beach, one of the best cards in the format. I have Tropical Beach in a ton of my decks. I can't overstate how good that card is. And I bet you they'll give us a beach reprint. 30th, I'm calling it right now. Tropical Beach reprint, 30th anniversary set. It's coming. You heard it here first. '30th anniversary. We're getting beach reprints. All right, looks like Anthony has got Boulder going now, turn 2. And Marnie needs to find one playable card off of this in order to match hand sizes for Adjusted Horn, and does find it. He's got the Wob, which you can bench. And then with both players having 4 in hand, that's going to be an Adjusted Horn for 170 damage. We've got Dodrio there, Snorlax, Tate and Liza. I also, man, when I was at the brokest I ever was in my life, like, I shelled out $500 for 3 copies of Tropical Beach to play in standard format at the time. You got, like, dude, people have no idea how easy it is to play the Pokemon TCG right now. People have no idea, bro. My broke butt was spending $500 that I didn't have to play 3 copies of a Worlds promo in my standard deck. Yeah, my standard deck used to cost dang near $700, bro. And that's just like, if I had $500, I wasn't broke. You don't know what I had to sell in order to get that. I was, you know, no, it's not the broke Olympics, but I'm telling you, I was not well off. I was making less than $30,000 a year at my job. I was splitting rent in a $500 apartment, you know. We talking, yes, dude. I was at a point in my life where I was selling off my GameCube games, dude. I'm just telling, that's about as, yeah, man. I mean, like, I wasn't doing too hot. Like, I'm be honest, you know. But I tell you what I did have was 3 copies of Tropical Frickin' Beach, okay? That's what I did have. Did I have rent? Maybe. Did I have Tropical Beach? Yes. I say all of that to say is that, like, dude, people have no idea what it's like. In modern day Pokemon, people have no idea what it's like to spend, you know, $700 on a standard deck. Like, that's just used to be, you know, used to be like that, bro. $50 staples used to be normal. Mewtwo EX from Next Destinies, $50. Shaman EXs used to be $30 to $50. I mean, every hot card, Tapu Lele is $50. Tapu Lele GXs used to be $50. Like, yeah, dude, having to spend like $150 on each beach was like very normal. And like, if you wanted to play like an archetype, you just had to buy those. That's just what it was. Yes, dude, people have no idea. Dude, when I first started playing, Pokemon catchers were $20 a piece and every deck needed 4. So I used to show up to tournaments with suboptimal decks because I literally couldn't afford the Pokemon catchers to go in. So I know I'm getting stun locked a little bit, but like every time I hear a player tell me that like they don't want to spend $15 on a Roserade or like $30 on like a beach, I'm like, do you even play the game, bro? Like, that's just part of that's the price to play. That's like, that's nothing. That's nothing. You guys have no idea. I don't know. You know, when I was a teenager doing skateboarding, like hobbies cost money. When I was a teenager, I used to have to go through a new skateboard and a new pair of shoes like every single month because I was wearing through them. That's just what it is. And Pokemon is as affordable as it gets, but don't buy, like, you know, just be smart. You know, work smarter, not harder. If there's cards you want, buy the singles. You know, don't be out there ripping packs at Target or whatever. My favorite, I got a question in the chat. All right, what's my favorite skate shoe of all time? It's got to be the Vans Chuckalos. They're insane. The Vans Chuckalos are like nuts. I don't know how they like crafted the perfect shoe, but I feel like they did. I have a pair of Janowskis, but the Chuckalos are too good. All right, Fan Road, I'm taking the knockout here. So anyways, it's all about perspective, folks. Gym Leader Challenge is one of the cheapest formats that there is in any trading card game. So I don't want to hear it about a World Championship beach costing $30. I can't go to Chipotle without spending $30. You know that? I mean, like, come on now. I literally can't go to Chipotle with my wife without spending $30. That's just the price of business. You think I'm getting out of that place without getting guacamole? You got to be kidding me, dude. Guacamole costs more than most of your Gym Leader Challenge cards. Reynolds 3s were insane. Yeah, I'll give you that, Manygrams, for sure. I had a pair of Reynolds 3s. I'm talking about the Crimson. I'm talking about the World Championship beaches are about $30, which I highly recommend. If you play Gym Leader Challenge, I highly recommend picking one up. Because there's a limited quantity of those too, and eventually those will all dry up too. And if Pokemon never reprints the card, then those are just going to be the ones. Like, I'm never going to ban the card. I'm never going to ban the card. I will basically like I'll basically have a standoff with the Pokemon Company. And if the card becomes too unattainable, then I'll just want them to reprint it. I don't want to ever ban it. Like, just reprint it, dude. Just freaking reprint it. All right, so Anthony had a strong start with the Iron Boulder, but wasn't really able to get too much going to back it up. So now, gotta say, Cam's board is looking stronger for sure. Did Cam... Is that a discard? Oh, that's the discard pile. All right. Let's see. Oh, here are the prizes. Okay, got it. I was going to say, I was having a little bit of... I was like trying to figure out what was going on. I was like, does Cam have like 8 prizes? Okay, I see. All right, it all makes sense now. All right, so Mimikyu. Ooh, with the Togekiss going in for 2. Wow, Togekiss, Wonderkiss. Flips aheads, and with the Mimikyu Dimension Valley play, a 2-prize take for Anthony there. That is massive with almost no board state to speak of. I can't freaking believe it. That's crazy. I mean, Anthony's board state is looking almost non-existent, yet was able to just rip 2 prizes thanks to Mimikyu's Copycat attack, which can be used for just 1 Psychic Energy thanks to the Dimension Valley in play. And then if you watched the World Championships just a week and a half ago, then you probably saw Piper Lapine out there killing it with her top 8 Goldengo EX deck, which also featured this Togekiss. And Togekiss is proven to not only be a big player in standard format, but also in Gym Leader Challenge formats. The Wonderkiss ability giving you a 50% chance of taking an additional prize card every time you take a knockout. Absolutely incredible ability there. You know, thank you so much, Seraphex, for that comment over on Twitch. I appreciate it. That means a lot. Thank you. And thanks for tuning in. As far as Tropical Beach goes, I have a French Tropical Beach that I bought in 2018 for $30 at the time. And then I have one on loaner from my friend Sean. An English top 32 one, I think. And then I've got like a bunch of World Championship ones. Maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 6 World Championship ones. Dude, Venom just scored a 2011 Spanish Beach for $60. That's what I'm saying, dude. Guys, get your... If you're in the market for a beach, look at your like Spanish or French ones. You know? Like seriously. That's the place to go. Getting a 2011 Spanish Beach for $60 is crazy. That's awesome. All right, so we've got ourselves a game here. I mean, Cam is completely set up. Snorlax with the Capture Energy and the Luxurious Cape on the bench. I mean, Cam's board is looking phenomenal, honestly. Dodrio in the active spot, swinging for the fences. So, like, Tony's got to figure out how to stabilize, I would say. Wobbuffet actually is going to take this knockout with Muscle Band. Is it there? It's doing 40 damage. Plus 20. No. That's 10 short with the Muscle Band. That's crazy. Portuguese is the cheapest variant of beach. Oh, well, that's insane. I'm going to have to scoop up a couple Portuguese beach. Dang, that's crazy. I had no idea. Anthony having to use... This is definitely like a Cleffa angle, I think. Level ball for Cleffa. Capture energy, the Wob. Level ball for Cleffa. Or capture energy for Cleffa. Level ball for Ralts and go, right? Like if Cleffa's in the deck, you just go for that. I like the capture energy onto the Togekiss. I think that's a good play. Then you're just one energy attachment away. And yeah, that's why you gotta play the Cleffa. Cleffa's just too good. I really do. I like all of the draw options in the Psychic deck. Beach, Cleffa, all of it, right? You got all these very high power level cards. You just got to set them up. So yeah, I think that the Cleffa play is the play you want to make here. 100% it's the play you want to make because Anthony just doesn't really have a real board state. Anthony's got to get a couple more things going. All right, here comes Cleffa. I would like to see the level ball go for like Ralts. But I think that this makes sense, just grasping draw. You could save the level ball for maybe a Dusclops. Evolution Incense, fail it. Yo, Truth Police over on YouTube just scored a championship Tropical Beach for 20. Not damage. Beast. That's what I'm saying. Worth it. Worth it. It's that good. I think, for me, if I'm playing a deck with Guzma and Hala in it, Tropical Beach is in that deck. 100%. Like, to me, there's no excuse. Guzma and Hala literally discards 2 other cards from hand, gets a Stadium Special Energy and Tool. Like, one of the best things you can do after discarding 3 cards from your hand is fill to 7. It's like literally one of the best things you could do. After discarding 3 cards from your hand, one of the best things you could do is let's draw up to 7. Sure. Right? Cam has got the Iono to set Anthony right back down to 3 cards. So that is tough. But Anthony does find Versus Seeker off of those 3. Dodrio is going to take another knockout. Okay, I think that this is going to be an opportunity for Wob to potentially take a knockout here. I know Anthony has Versus Seeker in hand. The Wob knockout could be good. You want to save the Togekiss. You don't want to knock out with the Togekiss here. Game's tied at 3-3 prizes. Evolution Incense can go get the Clops. Klops can place 5 damage counters if you knock it out, but I don't think that's worth it. I think you probably want to save for Dust Noir, which can just knock out a whole Pokemon all by itself. At this point, if Anthony goes and gets the Muscle Band out of his deck, then he can take this knockout with Wobbuffet. So he can Versaker for teammates. Yeah, I like that. Take the knockout with Wob, save the Togekiss there. You want to set up like a little bit more though. There's like, I mean, he's so close to winning, but I feel like you want like one more thing. Anthony could go teammates for Rare Candy Dusknoir and go for win, but no, can't do that because all Cam would have to do is promote like a Snorlax with 150 hit points. So no, that's not. Or I guess, no, use Dusknoir to blow up. No, because it only works when you knock out the active with Togekiss. So, because you want to give yourself an opportunity to flip 2 heads. So yeah, no, I like, don't be greedy, right? Just, I think Anthony's in a very good spot to win this game. You don't want to be greedy with the flips, like just kind of stay the course. I really like Anthony's decision here. I think Muscle Band Wob, take this knockout. You could go for like, you know, you could still flip 1 coin for game, but I think that using teammates, to get you a more stable card in your hand, like Raihan, I think that gives Anthony a higher chance of winning the game next turn, rather than going for it all right here, right? Because like Cam's got 3 prizes left. You really don't have to overextend, right? So we'll see what Cam's able to do. We do have a Snorlax with a Luxurious Cape now in the active spot. And if Cam takes the knockout just on this active Wob, keep in mind all abilities are turned off because of Wobbuffet's Bide Barricade. It could be a situation where the best play for Cam right now is to Hex knockout. Yeah. And Cam sees it. So I like this play from Cam. Hex, take the KO on Wob. Snorlax goes to sleep. Double heads will wake the Snorlax up, and thank goodness, because it's a pet peeve of mine when when the Pokemon doesn't get turned the correct way. Left is sleep, chat. Left is sleep. Left is sleep. All right, Cynthia and Caitlyn off the top. Not bad. But with this Snorlax potentially looking like it's going to go for 2, that will put Anthony in a very difficult spot, as Anthony will not be able to use Dusknoir. So really tough call here, right? Like, do you Raihan? You've got Quick Ball, you've got Raihan, you've got Cynthia and Caitlyn. Quick Ball away Togetic, I think that makes sense. It's one of those situations where, like, if Mimikyu was in deck, the game's kind of over, because, well, not over, 50% chance of being over. Well, no, because Hex, so Hex turns off Togekiss this turn. So there's just not a lot of great options. I don't think this list plays escape rope, so that's not an option to push around the Snorlax. Hex has been played, so Togekiss' ability is not working. And we could just see Anthony kind of like going through the motions, really trying to figure out like what this line is, right? Snorlax just swinging for so much damage. 160 damage is crazy. And with no hand disruption. I mean, Anthony could be out of it. I mean, maybe it was corrected for Anthony to just go for game. That Hex Maniac really, I think, I mean, just kind of threw a wrench in everything. Everything seemed cool until the Hex. Oh, there is escape rope. Okay, there is escape rope in the deck. I see that. All right, Anthony's got Raihan. I think he's getting Rescue Stretcher. Dang, Cam is making a real case for this. And like, what do you do here? You rescue Stretcher? Who we bringing back? Is it going to be Boulder? Got to be Boulder, right? Anthony playing this entire game with no Gallade is like kind of nuts. This is not a strong hand to be working with. You just swing with Togekiss. Ooh, for 140. Okay. All right, Hex is discarded now. But then Togekiss is going to go down. But the Snorlax has got a luxurious cape on it. So it gives up 2 prize cards, right? So that could be, I think that's what Tony is saying, like, I'm just going to win off that. But Tony doesn't have a free retreater in play. So, like, that's the major issue here. And Dusclops doesn't have a low retreat cost. I think it's like 2 or something. You can't go up with Dusknoir and explode it as a free retreat option either if Cam's only got 1 prize left. You know, and Cam is going to be going to 1 prize card here. The Snorlax that woke up. So just a very close game. And is it going to be Snorlax for the KO? The Snorlax is heavily damaged. It's got 110 hit points left. Cam's got a huge hand too. I mean, so like, what are the odds that Anthony can actually hand match this? Yeah, that Hex Maniac was super well timed. It was literally the perfect turn for the Hex. And the more cards that Cam decides to play from hand, the easier it will be for Anthony to potentially hand match for win. I think if you're Cam, you want to attack with somebody that doesn't have the luxurious cape on it. I don't think that Anthony can win if Cam takes this knockout with the Hops Snorlax. But if Cam takes this knockout with the active, luxurious Cape Snorlax, then Anthony can win. So it really comes down to that. I mean, this is about as close as they get. So it's a very, very good game. All right. And it looks like, okay, this actually does give Anthony a chance to win. I think that Cam should have another wake up. I think that Cam should have attacked with the benched Hoplax. I think that would have given Cam the best chance of winning this game. I don't think that Anthony has any hope of hand matching though. No. Right? Because you got like Cynthia and Caitlyn. I don't think it's possible. Cam has way too many cards in hand. So I think Anthony's going to come up just a little bit short. All because of that Hex Maniac knockout with Snorlax, really. Let's see. If you do 130, if Anthony can find a Dust Snore, doesn't it force sudden death? Right? If it's just Dust Snore, you have to. It has to be an attack. So Dust Snore doesn't do it. Really? Has to be knocked out from damage from an attack. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Yep, and I think Anthony just loses. That's it. GG's. Cam will advance to a record of 3-0 here at Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League night. Just narrowly taking down Anthony. That was a very close match, folks. Very close, very close. I know. Should have gone for the 50-50 earlier. You're correct. You guys are all correct. Everybody who thought that we should have gone for game on that one turn. Gosh, it feels so bad to lose because of flips, but then the Hex, I mean, like, I don't know. That Hex play was so perfect. It was by no means guaranteed. Just a very close game. Tough to say, right? Tough to say. Because I think, what was it? It was like, I think it was a turn he had Wob, and Wob needed to attack, but the Dodrio only had 40 damage on it. So in order for Wob to take a knockout on the Dodrio, you have to get the Muscle Band out of the deck. So like Raihan can only get one other card. Yeah, or teammates can only get one other card because I think one of them had to be Muscle Band. Something like that, right? There were a couple of really key supporter plays from Cam that allowed them to take that win. When Anthony took the turn off to use Cleffa to fill his hand up to 7, and then Cam immediately responded with the Iono, that was huge. And then the turn that Cam had the Hex, that was like another huge one. That was huge. That was huge. The deck is tough to play, isn't it, Tony? Yeah, I know. No, you didn't do bad. I mean, obviously, it was sketchy because your board was so, was so sparse the entire game. So like that was straight. Going the whole game with like no Kirlia, no Gallade is certainly crazy work. But that is what it do sometimes. The game felt close. It was good to watch. Fun watch. Yeah, it was a good game. For sure. All right, so I've got, for you Gym Leader Challenge fans out there, I've got a very exciting Gym Leader Challenge conquest happening this next week. On Tuesday, I am going to be hosting Lee, and we're going to be playing Lee Hoffman. We're going to be playing a best of 7 conquest. Gonna try and go for the Turbo Blaze sweep. Yeah, going for the Team Turbo Blaze sweep with Lee visiting on Tuesday, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna play a little best of 7 conquest. It's gonna be the first one. First one to win 4 with 4 different decks will be the victor. We're going to be playing with new cards from Mega Evolution, so that's going to be very exciting as well. I saw Spence. Spence, you were hitting me up on Discord. Sorry I didn't get back to you yet, Spence. You were hitting me up on Discord about Cursed Kiss. And I think you said something about the Xerneas. I hadn't had a chance to look at it yet. I've just been... Honestly, my life is... I'm barely getting through the day right now, so... 3 basic psychic Pokemon, put them on the bench. Nah, I'm not into stuff like that. 120 for 3. Nah, that's stinky doo-doo card. Unfortunate. Memories of Dawn Mew. That card's only got like 50 hit points. I hate it when you type in Mew and it's like everything from 151 shows up. That's cool. Literally everything from 151. Oh my goodness. What if I just want to look up the cards that are named Mew? This is horrible. This guy, 50 hit points. Call for Family ×3. Yeah, but okay, so sure. So Lee, this is the thing, and I feel like you're telling me like, okay, you're telling me the high end of what the card does, but then if you're not doing exactly what you just told me there, it's a horrible card to have in your deck. You know, if you're not going turn 1 going second, start the stupid deer, get 3, turn 2 D-Valley, like, all right, man, like, sure, you know, but like, no, that seems like trash. I'm gonna be honest. It's like you're kind of like you're. It's better to have cards in your deck that are more flexible. That's like a very narrow use case, I would say. Like, how often are you going to want to do specifically that going second? You could just as easily go Cleffa going second, which you can retreat into, by the way. You can't retreat into this, like, unless you have a switch tool. You can't retreat easily into... You don't need an energy to use the Cleffa. Cleffa, goated. Beach with Wobbuffet active is goated. I'd almost always rather do Cleffa or Beach with Wob would be like my two, or even TM Evo. I've seen people, been talking about using TM Evo in your Psychic list. Like, I think that's fine. But no, I don't, as kind of like a principle, I don't like Pokemon that have attacks that cost an energy that you need to use on turn one, because it's like you need, unless it's like an attack that deals damage, right? But like these kinds of setup attacks, they're hard to use because you need to have the switch as well. Whereas like a free attack is so much easier to negotiate on the first turn of the game. This card is fine. It basically gives you like another way to... This card is cool. Having a free retreater in play at all times is like always pretty good. So like that's nice. And then it allows you to copy your basic bench Pokemon's attacks. So like you're using Mew to basically copy Boulder or copycat Mimikyu. It's like one of those two. And it basically gives you just a little bit more flexibility on your bench. You can kind of just like have this guy chilling there. And like, if you want to attack with them, great. It allows you to basically attack with Boulder back-to-back turns without having to recover Boulder, which is nice, right? So like, I don't hate this card. I think this is fine. He's got free retreat, right? Like, how much can you really hate the card? He's like a great starter. He's also got Encounter, which, like, low-key, I use Encounter all the time. You use Encounter. Like, he's got free retreat. You start him. You're like, cool, let's go get Curlia. Okay, right? Like, that doesn't suck. That's cool. So, I get down with Mew from Fates Collide for sure. Yeah, that card's good. Encounter, low-key Encounter is like what kind of... The card is pretty good. Encounter is like just good enough to make it like, I would say, a very viable card. In Lost Zone Psychic, it makes a ton of sense, obviously, because you're trying to just use Sableye like literally every turn in the game. $50 hit points. That sucks, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's horrible. Artwork is great. That's a huge plus. Not gonna lie. Artwork can certainly influence my decision on a card. But honestly, like looking at my Cursed Kiss list, like I have no idea, like, like where are their cuts? Like there's no cuts. I remember looking at the list the other day and being like, dude, it's like no cuts in here, dude. All right, folks, let's get cracking. I think we've got round number 4 coming up. Moving right along here at GLC League. Let's go. We've got Hunter versus Joe Cornell. Joe Cornell is 3-0 with Dragon. Hunter is 2-1 with Colorless. Round number 4. All right. Dude, Dragon looks so good in those gold sleeves, gotta say. Looking slick. Joe's got Drudagon in the active, going first. Fire pass. And we'll see what Hunter can do. And if he can get this Porygon Z crazy code colorless deck operating like he wants. Hunter has told me that he always loses on stream, but then will like win the rest of his games. Yo, what's up, Alumawani with the Prime sub? Appreciate the support there. Thank you. Just found a tropical beach, moderately played for $20. Let's freaking go. That's awesome. Yo, any beach havers in the chat? Raise your hand. Let's go. Shout out to all the beach havers. All right, we got a fan call from Hunter. Getting out that Slackoth, Porygon, Bidoof, Artisan. Gonna go get Snorlax. Hops Cramorant in the active. And then Marnie gonna set Joe to a 4-card hand. Both players shuffle their hand, put it on the bottom of the deck. Joe's gonna get 4. Hunter gets 5. Looks like Hunter's got maybe teammates, special charge, not a lot. Now Joe has got some gas. I see Double Dragon Energy. I see Nest Ball. Oh yeah, like it's going. If you're Joe, you got Artisan. It's go time, baby. And that is the most appealing thing about this Dragon deck, is that it's literally always go time. Yeah, it's never not go time. And with Hunter serving Joe that Artisan, now Joe can use Artisan, go get a basic Pokemon. He's also got Escape Rope in his hand if he wants to move it. He's got Double Dragon Energy if he wants to go in with the Drudagon Dragon Claw 120. That's an option. But I like this play better. He's got Double Dragon Energy and Escape Rope. I think you just go for the Raging Bolt and use Thunderburst Storm and start knocking out guys that you don't like to look at. Mysterious Treasure, ditching the Clara. Gonna go get Tatsugiri. I think the last 2 cards in hand are literally like Rope. No, it's Trainer's Mail. Okay, I thought it was a Rope. It's a Trainer's Mail. So we'll see what the grab is off this Trainer's Mail. And that will surely inform what we see happen next. Trainer's Mail. Look at the top 4. Get to take a trainer card you find there, put it into your hand, and I think, what is it? Avery? Ah, that's a fine one. For sure, we take it. Especially since Hunter's got a full bench of 5. Yeah, I'm going to force Hunter to discard down. And then we'll see what Joe draws off these 3 cards. Avery for 3. Hunter's got a discard. And it's going to be Slackoth and... Ooh, find Scoop Up Net if you want. That's kind of greedy. Getting rid of the fire energy. But I mean, sure, right? Go in, take out the Porygon. I don't hate it. Like, all gas, no brakes, bro. Scoop Up Net that Drudagon. Is that an adventure bag? Oh, that's an adventure bag? Oh, then he doesn't need a Scoop Up Net. Just go get the Floater. I think that's an alt art for, I think it's a Japanese exclusive art for Adventure Bag, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, so Adventure Bag. I don't hate a TM Turbo Energize here. I mean, Hunter doesn't have any energy in play, so I like a TM Turbo Energize. I think that would be fine. Or we just go for broke. Yeah, let's go, baby. It's go time. And Raging Bolt. Gonna use Thunderburst Storm with the help of that double dragon energy to take out Hunter's Porygon on the bench. And just like that, Joe is up a prize with a fire energy equipped Druddigon on the bench. And we'll see what Hunter can do to try and respond. Escape rope first. Going to push the Raging Bolt out of the active spots. And Joe's going to send up his fat Regidrago, which makes sense. Good Pokemon having the active spots with the Dragon Horde ability. See, but what I don't like about this is like... Yeah, like Hunter played the Escape rope. You want to take out the double dragon energy, right? So like this, I feel like... This is like way too narrow of a play for Hunter, because Hunter is kind of like saying like, oh, I just need to keep up the trade. Like the Gym Leader Challenge is not just about keeping up the trade. It's not like, I take a prize, you take a prize, I take a prize, you take a prize. The first person who took a prize wins. Or if like you missed a prize take, you lose. Like you need to think about, what's your opponent's board look like? How do I chase the energy? How do I take out the biggest threat? Like those kinds of things. Like right here, like this play feels like Hunter used teammates, didn't set up his board at all. Didn't evolve into Bibarel, didn't do any of that. And it was kind of like, I must take a KO at all costs. And now, like, his board is kind of suffering for it, right? There's no Bibarel online. We got a heavily damaged Hop Snorlax. Like, having a heavily damaged Hop Snorlax kind of be, like, your guy just doesn't feel good. I do think that, maybe Cramorant will be able to deal with the next attacker. You're going to have to get a buff on it. He's certainly kind of banking on that Cramorant being the next guy up for sure. And that's, as cool as it is to have all the stage 2s in your colorless deck, I feel like colorless is at its best when it's just kind of leaning into exactly what we see Hunter doing, right? The Cramorant, the Snorlax. I mean, honestly, I really liked Cam's version of colorless with all the basic attackers. I feel like that's and the evolution Pokemon are kind of just the support. That's kind of my my take on colorless right now. Oh, looks like Joe is lining up a Lost City play, potentially. I'm just going to potentially scoop up nets. The Tatsugiri. Send up Raging Bolts. You want to use the Artisan first. Good call there, Joe. Good play, good play. Go get Drampa. Lost City with the muscle band to just target the active. I like that. Chasing the energy. See, and that's some good heads up play from Joe. Just chasing the energy. Don't be cute. You know. Chase the energy. I like it. But Hunter has the Colress's tenacity. Go get the powerful colorless energy and the parallel. But at this point, like, this is not... Yeah, it's not really... This is not like the... You don't want to really be in a shootout with the Dragon deck when the Dragon deck has a start like this. It's just not a great place to be in. And Hops Kramer is going to take that knockout. Dealing 140 damage with Fickle Spitting. Got a Tatsugiri. Attract customers. We'll see if there's any customers. And Arvin. Let's see if Joe will discard that Lost City. That'd be great. Wait, Bolt is not Lost Zone because the parallel got played. All right, we got Guzma on Bidoof. I do appreciate that these players are playing very quickly. Yeah, that's nice. All right, Draudigon. Blam, Revenge, Knockout. But that leaves the Cramorant. So for Joe here, like, leaving the Cramorant just made Hunter's life very easy, right? Because now, like, Hunter doesn't need to rebuild the attacker. You guys see, like, there are very... I feel like chasing the energy is just, like, always a good idea. Almost always a good idea. You have to be very choosy about when you chase the support. And I feel like that's something that I see maybe a little bit too much, is that people choose to chase support and, like, not address the energy. You know, but addressing the energy, like, you force your opponent to build up another attacker, which is, like, not always guaranteed. It's just not. Especially when it's just a Bidoof. It doesn't feel good. Joe may have had to use the Guzma as a pivot, but he had Arvin, so I probably would have liked to see him. I think I would have liked to see Joe just use Arvin. You have to imagine that you can go get a pivot for your Tatsugiri with Arvin to knock out the Cramorant. So... I think Joe was comfortable promoting the Tatsugiri because he had Guzma in hand regardless, but I think I would have liked to see Arvin for Floatstone. Because now, basically, you allowed Hunter to get an additional energy in play. Because now, look, he's got counter energy on the Snorlax, right? So, like, now the Snorlax is one energy away from attacking. And you can kind of see how, like, knocking out the Bidoof was, like, literally a nothing play. Because now it's back, right? Knocking out the Bidoof literally did nothing. Whereas, like, taking out the Cramorant always sets Hunter back in energy. Like, literally, every single time. It sets Hunter back one energy. Now Hunter's doubled up on energy. And you can see how how much this game has changed just with that single line. Right, because Hunter might not have had the pivot to get back into Cramorant. We got Tatsugiri attract customers going on now. And Hexmaniac looking like it might be a customer. Joe does find Marnie, so that's a nice little bailout. Though Joe's board is just looking very weak. Otherwise, just not a lot of else going on right now. A single energy Drampa on the bench. I don't suspect that Joe's going to be attacking this turn, which is going to allow Hunter to actually take the lead because of Cramorant. So it's got to be just energy to Drampa. And you know Hunter's got to be feeling great about that. And you can see how much a game can sway because of simple decision trees. You know, and now this game is certainly starting to unfold for Hunter. And a lot of it may have just come down to that Cramorant being ignored on that single turn. Both these decks were kind of going toe for toe. And Cramorant's going to go for another, and that is a huge problem. Letting a Cramorant just roll like this unanswered with Fickle Spitting is just such a huge problem. If Joe does have one, oh baby, the Faba and the knockout with Drampa. Okay, I was gonna say if Joe does have one thing going for him, it's the counter energy is turned off. Now it's really, really, really turned off. With the Faba sending that counter energy to the Lost Zone. Rare Candy slacking. Porygon Z. Can Hunter finish it off? Crazy Code will accelerate the Lucky energy to slacking. And then Hunter's got Versus Seeker 2. It should all be just about guaranteed now. I think Hunter just needs to not overthink it. Definitely play the Pokegear, thin it out. Teammates guarantees it, dude. Play teammates, go get a couple of energy, accelerate them both into play, and slacking for the win. And there you go. Knockout. And game. Hunter is your round 4 winner with slacking critical move for 160 damage. And Joe, unfortunately, not able to sustain that early lead with the Dragon deck. GG's, GG's. Both players. All right, so Joe will fall to 3-1. Hunter will ascend to 3-1. I see a question over on Twitch or on YouTube. Do I have any tips on fixing minor bent cards? I saw this Twitter thread the other day where this guy was restoring like gold star cards. And I restore Pokemon TCG card. I think they were using like a combination of like a humidifier and like an iron. Yeah. All right, so Venom in the Twitch chat, you saw what I saw, you know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm saying. I can't find the thread anymore. I don't know, but like there's YouTube videos on it though. If you like look up restore Pokemon cards on YouTube. But yeah, if you like I have ironed cards before. Just like with an iron, like to get them flat, because sometimes you get like a hollow card that's just like it's like a Pringle, and I've just taken them just like underneath the iron and just ironed it, and that has worked for me. Now I'm not giving official advice here, okay? If you ruin your card, that's on you, all right? Don't come telling me that you ruined your card with an iron. I don't care, okay? It's not my fault. Do it at your own risk. But like there you could do it though. It's true. I got a couple of damaged gold stars, dude. I got a couple of gold stars with some creases in them. I've been wondering, you know, you think I could just iron those out, dude? You think I can iron those out? Probably increase the value of my gold stars by like $100 a pop. If I can turn them from damage to like heavy play. So I've got next week, like I said, Lee is going to be joining me for Gym Leader Challenge Conquest, which I'm very excited about. Anxious to get to play some more Gym Leader Challenge. And then on Monday, my documentary that I've been working on for over a year is going to be coming out as well. Let's see. Mega Evolution. So what do you think? You think Cynthia's Garchomp's actually going to be the best way to play the fighting stuff? I think that the Megas just are kind of like Mega Lucario EX in a format with Gardevoir doesn't really seem super like reasonable, right? I do think that Hariyama impressed me more than Mega Lucario. Hariyama seemed quite good. The fact that you can use it as like a gust, and it can also do 210. If you have like a reversal energy, you go reversal, Sumo Catcher 210. It's pretty good. Lunar Cycle was quite good. Very much enjoyed that. The fact that the Soul Rock does 70 for 1 is very good. I feel like there's got to be some Cinderace deck. All right. There's got to be some. Got to be, right? In Standard. There's got to be a Cinderace deck. Like some sort of Cinderace mega deck. You play like 4 Cinderace and like and like 3 Mega Mawile. You could use Cinderace power at Mega Kangaskhan, but I think in Mega Kangaskhan I want to play the Bouffalants. Right? Doesn't Bouffalant make it so that your guy takes like 60 less damage? Like, that's so broken. Yeah, as long as you have 2 Bouffalants in play, your basic colorless Pokemon takes 60 less damage from attacks. That's nuts. That's crazy. And then... yeah, what about... what you got the Trumpet, dude? Gotta have 2 of your bench colors Pokemon such basic energy discard. Yeah, it's just powering up your Kangaskhan's weird. There's too many ways to one-hit KO, guys. You really can't depend on... yeah, you can't depend on tanking with something. In this format, you can't. I think probably like the closest thing... the closest thing you can get to a tank deck might be like your Mega Venusaur with like the hero's cape on it. But then, all right, so what if it's Cynthia's Garchomp then? I've been thinking about Cynthia's Garchomp. CMT asks, what's the best GLC tank type, grass or metal? Metal, for sure. Water, yeah, maybe water. Cynthia's Garchomp. You got 2 fighting energy, 260, corkscrew drive 100. So like, I think the concept is that you're not playing Roserades anymore. You're not weak to, but you're still not beating Gardevoir, like. But you're not playing Roserades, but then you're locked at doing 260 unless you play the Premium Power Pro, right? So like then you can reach 290, which is like an irrelevant number. 320. It's going to clear some things, but not Gardevoir. I guess I'm just not really seeing... all right, so as Cynthia's Garchomp, like, it doesn't really jive very well with, like, the Lunatone and Solrock, right? Because the reason, like, the Mega Lucario works with the Lunatone and Solrock is you use Lunar Cycle and then you use Aura Jab, right? And then you accelerate the fighting energy that you discarded into play. So, like, that makes sense. But here, it's like, what am I doing here, right? So I don't even know that, you know, the Solrock and Lunatone, they don't really go with that, right? So then what, are you going to play, like... you're going to play, like, Garganacl? No, you're not going to play Garganacl. That's silly. So, yeah, I don't know. Cynthia's Garchomp, I don't think that card's very good. Lush Forest with Roserades? All right, it's kind of spicy. Yeah, here's your tier list, dude. Look at that. All the Mega cards. Venusaur, Lucario. It's looking bad, dude. Where's my Mega Camera Up love at? Oh, yeah, dude. Broken deck Mega Camera Ups. I think that What is that? Mag Mortar? What does that do? During Pokemon checkup, put 3 more damage counters on your opponent's burn Pokemon. Oh! All right. Yo, not enough people talking about this deck right here, bro. It's broken. Two of them. 3, 3, 3. One piece, 3. 2 of them. All right, so you got Mag Mortar, you got Camerupt, you've got Volcanion, inflicts burn when it's in the active spot. So you got to play 4 switch because you got to get the stupid Volcanion into the active spot. And then you got to play Jet Energy. Oh my god. I hate how annoying getting the Volcanion in and out of the active spot looks like it's going to be. That seems like the worst part. But you're doing, what, 80 plus 160 plus a potential 5 damage counters. So, like, 160 plus 80, 240 plus 5 is 290. It's still not knocking out anything. Yeah, Volcarona. Yeah. No, I know Volcarona. 3 stage 1s is so many, though. In a standard deck. Oh, you've got Latias. Oh, never mind. That's not bad. Oh, it's so easy. You've got. I forgot you got Latias. Yeah, Latias is so free, dude. That's free. You've got Latias, free retreat. Yeah, broken deck, dude. Broken deck. All right, I'm back. Camera up to sauce. The grabber technology? No, not the grabbers, dude. Not Camerupt grabber. That's crazy. Dude, the grabber tech is kind of beast. All right, one of the major issues with the Mega decks is that they can't compete with Gholdengo at all. So maybe this guy can. Mega Abomasnow. Oh, yeah, these lists rule. 27 water energy. You gotta be kidding me. 27 water energy. All right. I gotta make the Mega Abomasnow deck. The 30 energy deck. Yeah, I gotta get some of these. Yo, this video is going to get the clicks. 30 energy deck. If I don't get the clicks, somebody else will. Yeah, somebody else just going to take them clicks if I don't take them. Yeah, all right. I need to source 4 of these guys. I did not order 4 Mega Abomasnow, unfortunately. For my singles purchases. How are people playing Mega Venusaur? Yeah. It just doesn't seem great, honestly. Even with, like, Lush Forest doesn't fix it. They would have had to give, like... Ivysaur an ability that searches out an evolution or something. They would have had to make Ivysaur broken too. But instead, Ivysaur doesn't do anything. Bayleaf doesn't do anything. That's how you can tell when Pokemon really wants to make a card good, they got to make the middle evolution do something. Unless your name's Gardevoir, in which case you could just do whatever you want. Because that card is so broken. And what's the Mega Kangaskhan decks look like? So here we go. Yeah, so this is what I was imagining. Oh yeah, dude. You're like a Terapagos Kangaskhan deck. With the trumpets. Looks like it dies to Lucario. Lucario is not a real deck. Mega Lucario. Nah. It ain't it, bro. See, look, like this person here, they're trying to cope with like how they plan on beating Gardevoir. And they're like, I'm going to beat Gardevoir by using Zoroark. All right, sure. At least somebody here is trying to figure it out. But yeah, it's probably not going to work. You got a 3-price Pokemon that just loses to Gardevoir. It all loses to Gardevoir the same. The Palma Stone deck, dude. You it can't be real. Dude, with the Hildas and the yeah, whatever that is, Legacy Energy. See, this one plays 30 energy. I'm saying, I think for clickbait, 30 energy is probably better. You have to be able to say 30 energy deck. If we want to recreate the magic of... All right, I started watching these guys. They have a documentary on like birding. So shout out to Owen Reeser. All right, this documentary's been pretty interesting. It's 2 hours though, all right? So I'm like making my way through it. But like I don't know how these guys exist, right? Like I was like, okay, this is a very like they spent a year, people who like didn't know much about bird watching. They like knew nothing about bird watching. Spent a year going out to like try to see as many birds as they could. And it's a very high effort. Like they lived in a van for a year and bird watched for an entire year. Like very competitively. Even though they knew nothing about it going in. And then produced like a very high quality documentary out of it. But like, dude has 4 videos. And like how do you exist? That's like how do you exist? How do you exist? How does this exist? How did this? And then they said, thank you all for watching. I'm keeping ads turned off. If you enjoyed this free movie, you can Venmo us. We'll use it for the next project. Yeah, this has no business being this well made. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, this had absolutely no business being like how do you exist? How are you existing? And so it's blowing my mind, right? Because it's really like well done. It's funny. It's good. It's tasteful. It's fun. I just like, but how do you exist? How does something like this exist? I don't know. So anyways, that's what I'm asking myself right now. Oh yeah. right here. 40 energy deck. See, all right, 40 energy deck got 230,000 views. 30 energy deck, 30 energy deck is nothing compared to 40 energy deck. 40 energy deck, I don't even want to do 30 energy deck anymore, bro. 40 energy deck, pure domination. 30 energy deck, weak sauce. Discard 30 cards, one attack. Leave them crying. Oh, man. Crazy. All right, folks. We've got round number 5. Will Austin Charles win his first Gym Leader Challenge league night? On his last league night, Austin Charles is moving back to Dayton, Ohio. He's going to be leaving us here at Full Grip. It's fine. I don't even want Austin Charles in Akron, Ohio. He said Akron, Ohio is not a cool place to live. Shame on you, Austin. Shame. It's fine. Akron doesn't want you, Austin Charles. Go enjoy Dayton. We got Austin Charles. This is going to be his last time here. He said he's moving out to Dayton this weekend, so could be a little Cinderella story here. He's been chasing that Gym Leader Challenge badge for weeks now. I know it's kind of funny, but like I talk about this all the time on stream. I love Akron, dude. I love Akron. I am so Akron pilled, it's crazy. I fell in love with this city. I did. I'm not from Ohio. I want to be here. I genuinely love Northeast Ohio so much. I freaking love Akron, Ohio. It's such a great place to be. Such a great place to exist. Austin is playing his spread lightning deck. What's funny is that the thing that brought me to Akron was that my friends lived here, friends that I made playing Pokemon cards, right? I was living in northwestern Pennsylvania for a while. That's where I went to college. And I started playing Pokemon cards when I was living in northwestern Pennsylvania and was constantly traveling to Northeast Ohio, which is only a couple hours away. But I was constantly traveling to Northeast Ohio to play cards because that's like, even back then in like 2011, Northeast Ohio, huge hub for the Pokemon TCG. And, because AJ lived here. And AJ is like one of the biggest judges in the Pokemon TCG. So, like, it's always been an incredible scene. I made a ton of friends that were from this area and eventually just ended up moving up here myself. And I never left, baby. Oh, Austin is 3-1. Excuse me. Our fifth and final round is underway here at Full Grip Games. We've got Austin Charles on the right with his Lightning deck against Cameron Armstrong on the left with Colorless. We got to see Cam on stream earlier today. Took a super close win over Tony with his Psychic deck featuring Togekiss. Austin has a pretty large mulligan-assisted opening hand. We see that Austin is playing that Electivire with the high voltage current attack. Electivire, one of the strongest options in the Lightning card pool. Deals 50 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. It's an incredible spread attack. And the idea of this Lightning deck is to try and launch that attack twice. I mean, if you can high voltage current twice or high voltage current once and then back it up with a Regieleki, Terraspark, which does 40 to 2 bench Pokemon. I mean, there are just so many different knockouts that you can negotiate between Regieleki and Electivire. Let's see what Cam's got. We've got a Fan Rotom, which will be using that Fan Call ability, and I think it's a Guzma and Hala got played, as well as a Quick Ball. Guzma Hala getting Fury Belt, Jet Energy, and Artisan. Yo, and Cam, this would be Cam's first win, I think, at GLC League Night. So this would be a huge win for Cam. Cam has been a recent convert to Gym Leader Challenge format and the Pokemon trading card game in general. Cam is one of our Magic the Gathering regulars here at Full Grip Games. So it's been awesome to see them take up the Pokemon TCG and specifically Gym Leader Challenge formats. And we're going to see Cam just kind of get better week after week, which has been really cool to see. So huge props to Cam for continuing to improve. And Cam's really been working with this colorless deck. It's been their deck of choice for the last couple months. And we see that effort paying off here as Cam is playing for a badge on the badge board with Colorless. Turn 1 Fan Rotom knockout on the Mareep Parallel City in play as well. Let's see what Austin can do. Austin's got a big hand to work with. So you'd think there's got to be options there. Evolution Incense, gonna search out the Electivire. Getting Electivire online is good. Tapu Koko has got 110 HP, free retreat, so not going to go down as easily as the Mareep did in the active. Evolution Incense, going to get the Electivire for sure. It's the nice art rare. And then we'll see what else Austin has got going on in this hand. Looks like Teammates. Teammates probably going to be the call. Austin also has Volkner in hand, but like Austin's already got energy. Yeah, Volkner's probably not it. Yeah, Buddy Buddy Poffin, certainly good. Counter Energy is good too. You can grab Counter Energy if you wanted. I do like, yeah, Stormy Mountains feels really good. Just bump the parallel while we're here. Buddy Buddy Poffin too. And then that Morpeko in the hand could be good to slow down this Fan Rotom for a turn. We may also see Austin just take the knockout with Zapdos. And I think that that is what we're going to see as the Stormy Mountains goes for Zapdos from the Team Up expansion. This Tapu Koko in the active has free retreats, belovedly referred to as Tapu Koko promo. It was kind of just what everybody called it during the Sun and Moon era, just Tapu Koko promo. It's kind of got a nice rhyme to it. And it's funny because there's like a million prints of Tapu Koko promo. I think there are like literally 3 of the same exact card. Austin taking back that energy attachment. Cam's allowing it. Really? Yeah, the free retreat on Tapu Koko. And Austin may be deciding that he wants to do more Morpeko instead. Torment would do 40 with weakness. Oh, as a counter gain for the knockout. Okay. So Spark, I don't really like that use of counter gain. I feel like counter gain could be used like much stronger. Because basically you ask yourself like, okay, what did Austin get out of the counter gain? 20 damage on a Snorlax. That to me seems pretty much worthless, right? Like, so I think that Austin kind of like wasted his counter gain there. You got to think of that as a card that, you know, can make a play happen that otherwise would not happen. And I just don't think that that was like the strongest use for it. You certainly could have gone Electivire, counter gain, counter energy. I don't think that that was like necessarily the best play because you would be knocking out the Fan Rotom, instantly taking a prize, and then turning off your own counter energy, and then you still don't hit Bidoof because of the ability, right? So that it wasn't the turn to attack with Electivire. I agree with Austin's assessment there. However, you ask yourself, like, okay, did you get value out of the counter gain? And I think here the answer is no. So I would have just liked to see Austin actually go with his first instinct, which was to take the knockout with the Zapdos. I think that was a much stronger play personally, but we'll see how this plays out. Fighting Fury Belt on the Chinchino is funny. It's not doing anything there, as Fighting Fury Belt only buffs your basic Pokemon, but it's all good. I think with Boss's orders, we're actually going to see this Chinchino take a knockout on Tynamo, which is really cool. I like this play a lot. Never mind. We're actually just doing 40. It's 40, right? Oh, the Fighting Fury Belt doesn't... Hey, guys, Fighting Fury Belt doesn't buff Chinchino, so it's 40, right? Yeah. Yeah, would have liked to see that. Would have liked to see that go as like a boss. Would have been cool. Boss onto Tynamo. Probably didn't have the option to do it this turn, but that's okay. Now the ball is back in Austin's courts with a Volkner. And Austin's going to get Lightning Energy. And Evo Soda onto Blitzel. Will evolve up into Zebstrika. And now that Zebstrika is here, this Lightning deck can start moving with the Sprint ability, which allows you to discard your hand and draw 4 cards. Has perfect synergy with the rest of this Lightning deck. since both Electric and Flaffy charge lightning energy from the discard pile. So Sprint can help put those energies into the discard pile so that then you can charge them into play with Dynamotor. We see Austin's got the Electric set up on the bench. And then it's going to sprint away to lightning energy. So very good turn from Austin. And I think just sprinting you could attach one of the energies if you want to. He's got rope, so he's considering using that. I think it's fine. You got free retreat, sure. Sending the Bidoof is actually like, you're kind of cool with that as Austin because the Bidoof can't be targeted on the bench, so it's kind of a fine promotion. Austin's got to feel good about that. You can knock it out with Zapdos, or you could hit it for just shy of a knockout, but if you wanted to go in with the Morpeko again, you could. Morpeko is not a bad option here because you hit it for 50, right? And then when it evolves into Bibarel, it'll have 50 hit points remaining, and then you could clean it up with the Electivire. So I think that's like a fine route if you really want to because you're in this like weird spot where like taking prizes isn't actually all that great because you kind of like to play from behind as the lightning spread deck. So like leaving damage on board is like usually kind of the thing you want to do as the spread lightning deck, and then go behind on prizes and then kind of take all of your prizes all at once. I really appreciate that comment in the chat. Knife Laugh Love, thank you. Says, I really like the stream setup you landed on. The red, blue, and yellow primary colors on screen are very pleasing. Thank you for that. It means a lot to me. I did, kind of put a lot of thought into it and workshop it, for months now. I've kind of been working on it. So I do really like this as it's inspired by the back of a Pokemon card, right? Like the Pokeball table is obviously a Pokeball, and then like the surrounding kind of cutout is like the back of a Pokemon card, and then like the yellow at the top is inspired by the colors that you would find on the back of a Pokemon card as well. So to me, it just kind of feels very cohesive and simple and feels like Pokemon. So I like it too. So thank you. And also, it was important to me that I came, that I like kind of ended up with a layout that really emphasized the cards themselves. As I tried to make everything surrounding the table be as like kind of low key as possible, so that like even when I pull up card scans, they like slightly overlay, right, and then they just go back. So that way there doesn't have to be a card scan on the table at all times, kind of eating up the frame, right? I know this might be a hot take, but I actually think that like the stream overlay that the Pokemon Company uses for their official productions is like way too busy and has way too much garbage going on. I actually hate it. Yeah. I understand that it's like very high effort and that it took a lot of work and that they should be very proud of it for like that, for the technical achievement of it. But like as a huge Pokemon fan, like as a huge Pokemon card fan, I feel like it's like you're trying to turn the card game into a video game. And it's like the card game's not a video game. It's a card game, right? You don't have to have all that crap on there, dude. Yeah. And it's like, I think the worst thing about it is that you never can see any of their hands, right? Like I can't see what's in the player's hands at all because you've just cut them off. So anyways, that's just my gripe, but So I don't know. This to me has been a fun layout to land on. I think it's eye-catching in that it's like instantly you kind of know you're watching Pokemon, right? There's a Pokeball table, there's a Pokeball background, like the colors cue you in, red, yellow, and blue, very primary. All right, so we got a tie game here, 4-4 prizes. And it looks like Austin is kind of like said like, all right, we're just taking this knockouts with Zapdos and just going tit for tat, right? Like Austin's Electivire just got absolutely annihilated this last turn. So now Austin's spread option is pretty much done. So Austin is saying like, okay, well now I'm just trying to like keep pace. And Cam has got like a pretty decent looking board, which is funny to say, right? Because Cam's board is not wide, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. You know, Cam's got a fully loaded Snorlax on the bench, Cramorant with Powerful Colorless in the active, which is going to be taking a knockout. And Cam doesn't necessarily want to have like a super wide board right now because having a wide board is makes you very susceptible to spread damage. So Cam's board is kind of exactly what it needs to be. Oranguru is there for the draw support. You can fill your hand to 3, not right now because of Silent Lab, but I suspect that maybe with his teammates, Cam will be finding a card to counter the Silent Lab so that Instruct can actually draw some cards. Another big Pokemon for the bench with Nest Ball, Kangaskhan with the Rally Back attack making its way onto the board. Kangaskhan is a card that has kind of felt like its power level has been waning over the years as its Rally Back only does 120 damage. But against a deck like Lightning, I mean, you really only need to do 120 damage, right? So, like, I mean, all of Lightning's guys are super squishy, so not really a problem. And there's a lot of decks that Kangaskhan actually just kind of trades fine with, right? You got Darkness. Most Pokemon are getting knocked out by 120. Lightning. Most Pokemon get knocked out by 120. Dragon. A lot of the main guys get knocked out by 120. Or like one buff. And we see that Cam does play the Fighting Fury Belt. Powerful Colorless, probably Muscle Band. And Austin's got the N. Both players going to go to a hand of 3. And Austin benches the Regieleki with a Terra Spark ability or a Terra Spark attack. Could take this knockout. I would just need to get another Dynamotor or I would need to get another Dynamotor online, right? So you'd have to attach from hand, Dynamotor twice, and then you could launch a Terra Spark. Now, the really scary thing about playing the Lightning deck and trying to just go like toe-to-toe with your opponent, like trading card for card, is that, and you see Austin here just whiff stuff, right? Like he whiffed that Flaffy, and now he's like not going to be able to take this knockout, and that's like a game-losing situation. So that's why I think in the lightning deck, it is better to play from behind and go for the spread strategy. That's like the best thing the lightning deck can do. Because when you try to go toe-to-toe with your opponent, there are so many times where, like, if they just play one Hex Maniac at the wrong time, you just lose. Or if you miss, like, one attack, you lose. Your opponent parallels you, and you have to discard one too many things, you lose. So, like, I feel like the spread strategy is always kind of the best thing you can do is the lightning deck, because it allows you to miss some things and still win. So we'll see. Now, like, in this situation, for instance, if Cam plays Hex Maniac and takes a knockout, I think he just wins. Or I think Cam just wins. It's going to be Hilda from Cam this turn. Dodrio and an energy card. Let me capture energy. Capture energy can go get Squovit. So that Cameron can use Nest Dash, put the hand on the bottom of the deck, go draw some more cards. Field Blower removed that Silent Lab from play, so now Orangaru's Instructability is online. So here's the Nest Dash. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button on my stream deck. I have to say, yeah, for the World's production, I was absolutely blown away by the LED floor, though. That was undeniably incredibly cool. So, yeah. And I imagine that the stream overlay, the inputs to the stream overlay probably connect to the LED floor overlay. And it's like whoever's managing the UI for the stream overlay is probably also managing the LED floor overlay. The LED floor, like, was absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, that was, like, one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So, but the overlay, though, yeah, the thing is the overlay was way too busy. Yeah, because it's like it's a card game. Stop trying to make it something. Like, imagine if the video game had all these crazy overlays on it. Like, no, it's a card game, you know? Like, let the card, if you don't know what the card game, if you don't know what you're looking at when you're looking at the card game, then learn, you know? You don't expect the overlay to teach you. Like the LED overlay, or not the LED, the overlay is not like teaching you how to play the game, you know? I don't know. All right, this is actually a crazy play from Austin here. Austin has got the double knockout with the Regieleki, Terraspark, Guzma, bringing up Snorlax into the active. It's already got 40 damage on it. And then Terraspark will clean it up. And this is still a situation where Cam could just win with Hex Maniac. I would say if Cam can go energy to Kangaskhan, Hex Maniac, knockout, Cam still probably wins this game. Ooh, the 40 damage. I did forget about the 40 damage to the Squovit. Squovit's only got 60 hit points. So now Austin is just one energy away from winning. Still, though, if you have Hex in hand, you got to go for that. This is crazy. Raihan, nope, so no Hex. But does Cam have a way to... Luxurious cape to the Squovit. Holy crap, dude. All right. Does Austin have a way around this luxurious caped Squovit? Holy cow. This is epic. Does Austin have the game-winning cards? Let's see. Energy and Field Blower would do it. Let's see. Austin's got Raihan. And with the Electro Power, Austin will be able to take the game-winning knockout with Terra Spark for 150 damage. And Austin Charles will advance to 4-1, tying it up with Cam, who is also 4-1. So 24 players here tonight. And we'll have to see who ends up winning based on resistance, as both Cam and Austin have 4-1 records. Gonna come down to which player has the better opponent's resistance. I think it would be a great story for either player to win their badge tonight, either Austin with the Lightning deck or Cam with their colorless deck. Both players played really well. So, huge congratulations to both of them. We'll be posting the results on Full Grip Games Twitter account at Full Grip Official. And then Ben Morse will also have the results on morsemakes.com within the upcoming days. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. I'm going to be back on Tuesday with a Gym Leader Challenge Best of 7 Conquest with Lee of the Turbo Blaze team. And the band national champion, Gino Lombardi documentary is dropping on September 1st. That's Monday, folks. It is almost here. I can't wait to share it with you. You guys all have a great night, okay? Appreciate the vibes. It was a lot of fun.